What's up, guys? It's Cooper Webb, and you're listening to the MotoXpod.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Aaron Plessinger, and you guys are listening to the MotoXpod.
Save me from myself. My arms and legs are bound like an aging corpse from another world. I'll scream the truth 6 feet underground. Feel the life inside yourself. Watch your enemies dispel. If I could find a way to avoid this fate.
All right, we are back with another MotoXpod show, Vital MX MotoXpod, presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. Plenty to talk about on this episode 354 with guests such as Austin Forkner, Kevin Moranz, and Texas privateer John Short, all going to be on tonight. Just got done with the Denver Supercross. I was there, got to be back at a race. It was nice to be there. Plenty to talk about. Hayden Deegan wins the 250 West title, his first 250 Supercross championship of his career. Chase Sexton dominant in the 450 class. Upcoming final race of the year in Salt Lake City, a showdown in the 250s. So, we still got a little bit to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we get into the show, we got to obviously introduce everybody in studio. As always, working the cameras, working the chat. Yamaha Motor USA opening chat coming up. Scotty Thompson, what's up?
What's going on, man? I'm the only one that wasn't at the race. Like, I guess
what a loser.
I know, I suck.
Right?
I feel kind of sad, left out.
I mean, so, TJ wasn't at the race, but
let
TJ
y'all just talk about it. He doesn't like Supercross.
TJ doesn't like Supercross anyway.
He doesn't like us either.
But Scotty, how was your weekend at home?
I mean, I wasn't at Denver, so
it sucked.
No, it was all right. We had a good time.
Did you get to go? You didn't get to ride?
Well, I wrote a little bit at TJ's.
Stop interrupting.
I wrote a little bit at TJ's Trap House, but that's about it.
Oh, did you like that course though?
Yeah, it's fun,
right?
It's tight. It's challenging, especially since we were supposed to go to a cross country race. Kind of scratched that itch a little bit.
Yeah,
and it was good.
Yeah, the first time I went to TJ's on that low course, it was okay, but it wasn't great, but it was okay. And then the second time,
you got worked in
it's a little better. Well, it's got some jumps on it now. It's got that little triple.
And he made that ridiculous jump that's not even really possible.
Sure it is.
I mean, it's possible, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I considered it. I jumped to the bottom and halfway.
Well, I guess it had rained a lot, so he had dug that out. So it was just like a giant crater.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Yeah, it's a big hole.
But there was nowhere to really land flat. You either can't.
I jumped. Well, okay, so I jumped to the bottom and it was full of water.
Right.
And then just
Yeah,
I mean, Doc's gonna jump it, no problem. And it's really, I don't think it'd be that hard. It's just scary.
Yeah, I'm not doing it
because if you do short it, you're just gonna stop.
Well, and plus I was on a TJ's 250F, so I didn't quite have the oomph of a 450.
Gotcha. Well, also in studio, 710 Designs, Chase Moore back in studio. What's up?
What's going on, man? Yeah, I was in Denver. It was a good race.
Yeah,
got to do the KTM, or I wasn't doing the KTM Junior Challenge, obviously.
That's good. That's good. Why is that kid so tall?
Yeah. Why is that kid so fat? It was more like it, but
I didn't want to say that.
Yeah, no, that whole program was cool. It was a super cool experience. So I'm glad to talk about it. Glad to be back in studio.
Yeah, we'll get to that towards the end of the show after the guest. We're going to jump into the Yamaha Motor USA opening chat. Yamaha has a reputation for dominance, which we just saw in the 250 West. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. Yamaha took the championship-winning bikes and made them even better because you guys know the best don't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com or better yet, go to your local dealership. Check out all Yamaha has to offer from dirt bikes, street bikes, watercraft, or go to your local music store, even though that's not part of Yamaha Motor USA, and pick up a piano or something. I don't know. Get something.
They have really good pianos.
Yeah, they do. It's Yamaha, baby. The best on race.
I had a Yamaha trumpet.
What a nerd. Trumpet, Chase. He played the trumpet.
I'm not gonna
kids that played the trumpet.
I'm not gonna say what I played.
I'm joking. I played percussion, but I have no musical abilities.
You can get a Yamaha drum set too.
I sucked. I didn't really play.
I played clarinet for a year to meet. It was to hang out with chicks.
Did they just have you? Did they just have you do the triangle?
I couldn't even probably do that. I was bad. I have no rhythm. I couldn't keep time. Yeah, it was terrible.
That's funny.
But I thought I was going to be. At the time, I thought I was going to be a rock and roll drummer. I mean,
because I
want to be a rock star.
It was. I mean,
but I couldn't keep time.
It was the 80s too, so.
Yeah, my rhythm's not great either.
If you're on YouTube right now, like and subscribe. Don't forget our emails, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. If you guys want to get involved with the show, there's a bunch of, we got 3 contests, maybe 4 tonight that we're going to do. So you're definitely going to want that email. You want to get involved. Let's start with the 450 main, Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb. Chase, once again, very dominant. Cooper was sick, didn't look good in his riding throughout the day. Nice aggressive pass by Chase. I think we talked about this last week. And would Chase, be very aggressive if he had to? And I said, I don't think he really rides that way. And what he did wasn't all that aggressive.
I think it was.
I wasn't done, man.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead. You're good. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
I don't think he came in and was aggressive like that out of nowhere, because I think Webb made a mistake and kind of cross jumped him a little bit. I think they talked about it in the press conference. I think that was where they come from. I don't think if that wouldn't have happened, I don't think Chase would have bumped him at all when he came by him.
No, it was definitely because of what happened in the first lap. But yeah, we were talking about, though, would he get aggressive? And he said in the press conference, what he did in Denver was as aggressive as he would get. But it was pretty interesting. He was lit up, Scotty, because he was mad. He felt at the time Webb had cross-jumped him, which he kind of did, but somewhat of an accident, thanks to Malcolm drifted over, so Cooper drifted over, and then it just kind of trickled downhill. But anyway, that was a dominating ride again by Chase, doing what he had to do. He had to win, and he's still saying, hey, all I can do is go win, and I am still the fastest guy most of the time. What did you think of the ride and the situation that we saw?
I think in that scenario where he is in the point standings, you're not going to pass the guy that you're leading for, that's beating you in points clean. I'm not necessarily that he was dirty, but you're not going to just let me just kind of easily get by you. No, you're going to put it in there because it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if he went down. So I'm not saying he's trying to take him out, but at the same time, you're not going to just pass a guy that you're trying to battle for the points clean. To be honest with you, at the end of it, I really was surprised that Cooper held on to second. I mean, he got lucky that his teammate was behind him. I thought for a little bit Mookie was going to get up there and make it interesting, but I mean, Chase did what he had to do, and so did Coop. So
I actually disagree with you. I think Chase would have passed him clean. And he kind of said that. I only did that because you cross-jumped me.
I'm not saying that's... I'm just saying that you can say in that point of the championship, whoever it's Chase or whoever it is, you just don't really... don't expect clean passes.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's not going to go out of his way to be nice about it.
Right.
And he's not going to, prolong the pass to where... Yeah, he's not going to go out of his way to be nice,
So, going into Salt Lake City, Chase, Cooper's up by 9. 5th or better. If Chase wins, gets him the title, probably going to win the championship, right? But I want to get into the mentality of those guys versus the 250s based off the 250 main event in a minute. But at the end of the day, when Jet and Eli went out, a lot of people, maybe even us, were like, oh boy, this championship just kind of fell apart. Kenny injury. He was doing really well. Kenny's injury kind of put a damper on his finishes, obviously. But at the end of the day, we had a hell of a championship battle this season. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the closer, the ones out of what I can remember. It's one of the coming down to the end. It's really close points wise. I can't think of a round or a championship. 2019?
Yeah, it's
or
been
something?
a while.
So what was that, 6 years?
Cooper even mentioned in the press conference, Cooper Webb, that the other years he won the title, yes, him and Kenny were really tight in 21, but by the last 2 races, he had something like a 20-point lead. So by the 2 to go, he had a cushion. So this one has come in all the way down to the wire. And in a group chat today, and I'm going to throw myself on the table for being a dummy. One of the guys in the group said, if Chase had not made the mistake of trying to make the pass for the win in Arlington, what would the points difference be? And I was like, oh, well, it was 5 points. But actually it was more than that because he would have gained 5.
Yeah, it was a huge
but
swing.
Chase or Cooper would have lost 3, so it would have been 8, which I forgot to add in Cooper losing the 3.
So he'd be down 1.
It'd be 1 point difference going into Salt
Winner
Lake
take
City.
all.
Or even if he would have won Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
It's still,
Well, I know, but that Pittsburgh was at the point in the season where he was like left for no room for error, and like
Was it Tampa? Tampa when also when he crashed and Mookie won. That's another one.
That's yeah. I feel like Mookie probably was going to get him either way.
Maybe.
But I mean, maybe would probably want to fall back to fourth. But
fourth down?
I keep thinking of Arlington though. I do.
That's the big one.
Yeah. Like you keep looking at that, and it makes sense.
You can't have mistakes like that and win a 450 championship most years.
Most of the time, that's correct. Yeah.
I was going to say that I feel like it's even more of a long time that we've had where it's come down to riders that are basically just getting first and second every weekend.
Yeah.
It seemed like there was more potential for those guys to get third or fourth a couple years ago, and now when's the last time it wasn't Chase and Coop first and second? Foxborough in the mud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so the mentality though, the aggressive, quote unquote, aggressive pass chase on Cooper Webb.
Mm-hmm.
Press conference, I don't know if you guys heard it all, but there was a lot of discussion on respect because they were asked about it. Cooper was like, hey, man, I hate cross jumping. I didn't mean to do that. I get that he was mad because I would have been there. I've been there before. There wasn't any like, oh, this is bullshit. He was like, yeah, man, I get it. Chase talked about growing up when he was on Yamahas and being under the tent, basically a park next to Coop, and respecting him since he was a little kid. It was awesome to hear the respect between those two guys. Now let's shift down to the 250 main event with Hayden Deegan. Congratulations on winning the title. And anybody that listens to the show knows how I feel about Hayden. Like, I do like Hayden. There's things he does that I have told him I don't like. I didn't like the speech. I really didn't like, yes, the pass was fine. It was not an overly aggressive pass, but it was a pass that didn't have to happen right then. He's probably still going to win the title. It is his teammate in a sport that's not exactly a teammate sport, but it was somewhat unnecessary. Okay. And then what he did say on the podium comes into play, just how different the mentality is between those guys and the 450 guys. It's like night and day, how different those personalities are and how the kids in the 250 class handle themselves versus
it's always going to be 450 that way.
Class.
But at the same time, I feel like some of those 450 guys are kind of like that, like behind the scenes.
Okay, a couple maybe,
but they don't really do it on the podium. But I mean, like Barsha rides like that.
Sure, Jason Anderson can.
Yeah. I mean, Tomac's not going to just. None of those guys are going to give you easy passes.
Right.
I mean, I just think that it's like Deegs is going to Deegs. I don't see any real problem with anything he had. People keep talking about like his podium speech and stuff. Like, he's Brian Deegan's kid. Do we not remember that he was gonna when Deegan won a Supercross race, I think like '97, he said, "I'm glad everyone is here to see me kick everyone's ass." Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean that's his dad. Like, what do you expect?
There's a little WWE in it.
I like it.
So post race, man, it was 10 o'clock at night. I don't even know what time it was. We're sitting I went over to Yamaha because I knew Hayden was out of the AMA and nobody had talked to him yet. And I went to find out about warnings versus fines. And I was talking to Brian, and then Weege came up, and Weege kind of said, man, this is like you created Metal Militia, a fake thing in freestyle that was WWE, to create this image. He said it's so crazy that now that we're in real racing, it's almost the same, and it's not even like, it's not fictional, it's real, it's nonfiction, it's real life, and it's still almost the same. And Brian was just laughing. He's like, and some of these things, he probably shouldn't have said what he said on the podium. And by the way, he did get a warning for both.
Okay.
But no fines. It's just funny, though. I thought it was interesting. I didn't like the speech.
Yeah, suck it. You don't like it, suck it.
Yeah, well, I guess so. I think there's a good point, though, with Felder. Like, look, and he had to, you see he made maybe you didn't, but he made an apology.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, in real little letters, he tagged Monster and Yamaha. Somebody got it talking to, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, you work for these companies that are a brand that have families, and you got to walk a line, or you're going to end up like a J-Law.
I mean, okay, you're selling dirt bikes, and if you're selling dirt bikes, I guess you can't tell the people that you're trying to get to buy dirt bikes to suck it? I mean, I guess
Probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as far as like the sport's concerned and like the drama of it, it didn't bother me that much.
Okay.
So I don't really have a problem with like the pass. I don't have a problem with the sponsors being mad. I don't really have a problem with what he said on the podium either. It wasn't that crazy. I get kinda,
it is if you're a parent of a 5-year-old.
No, that's what I'm saying. I understand everybody's side. Like it for what it was, I can see why everything happened the way it did. Nothing was that crazy, but you kind of have to then like it wasn't that big of a deal. And like when the pass happened from where I was sitting in my seat right behind the start, it looked like he blew him out.
Yeah.
Because I was on the back side of it. And
Yeah.
When I went back and looked at it, I was like, oh,
No, it wasn't.
there wasn't anything crazy. I probably wouldn't have done it to my teammate.
Yeah, if it had been Juju or
Yeah.
anybody else, you'd be like, yeah, no big deal.
Nobody would have said anything
Being
about
Davies, who you're supposed to, we think you're friends, which I want to get into that.
it. Yeah.
So I set up something on Friday with, I saw Deegan first, said, hey, I want to do an interview after press with you and Davies as buddies. And I have questions like almost like a dating game kind of thing. It was like, who's usually faster at the test track? Who throws the better whip? Who's got more game with the ladies? You know, Deegan's like, yeah, cool. Well, after press, I went to find him, and I went to go get Davies, and he's like, what, together? No, I don't want to do that. That was before any of this other stuff, and I got the vibe like, oh. It wasn't like, yeah, I want to go hang out with my buddy. It felt like there was already a little something there.
Yeah,
Could
because
be wrong.
I came over there when and was looking for you to say what's up because we hadn't met at the race or whatever, and you had just told me about that. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, it felt weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so polarizing. Hayden Deegan is polarizing. You either love what he does or you hate what he does. There's not a lot in between.
See, you say that, but that's where I find myself.
Me too.
On the in between of it.
Okay, I think that's rare.
Okay.
I feel that's rare.
I think you're right too. I kind of feel myself like I understand that it's not for me. I'm almost 32 years old. He's 18.
You don't act like it.
Yeah.
right,
You're right. You're not wrong about that.
Honestly,
what we're
I feel
talking
like you
about.
would be in the Deegan camp all day, almost.
I do like I like that it's something different.
Yeah.
It's some excitement. But like some of the stuff he does, it's not for me.
Sure.
It's for 18-year-old kids and 16-year-old kids that those are his fans for the most part.
You've heard me kind of get on to him about those things because I feel the same way. But I feel it's a very similar to Chad Reed. Not the same kind of behavior, but Chad was cocky, made a lot of excuses sometimes, and you either loved him or you hated him. And I'm not saying Hayden is the same as Chad. I'm just saying the way the response seems to be, fan response, is kind of the same. Now, what I want to ask, and one of our questions, I don't know if you popped it up there yet, is that good for our sport, Chase, to stir the pot, get people talking, but also get people pissed off?
You're always going to have people that don't like you. I mean, and it seems that the people that don't like you promote you way more than the people that do.
Okay, that's the Howard Stern
exactly
mentality. If you ever watched the movie Private Parts, and this was taken out of his book, where the NBC execs, hated him because he was the first person to do talk radio, really, especially dirty talk radio, and they couldn't understand why their ratings were so high. And they did whatever the test where they went to ask people, and there were more people that hated him listened per what they viewed or they interviewed. There's not the word I'm looking for, but anyway, they talked to and they asked, if you hate him, why are you listening? Well, I still want to hear what he says next. Yeah. So it's kind of that mentality.
So if it was the whole sport was like that, it would be bad.
Yeah,
but a little bit of it, I don't hate it. It does help the sport some. It gets like, I mean, you see his dad. The industry ties that they have, like all the YouTube stuff, it gets so many eyes on the sport.
Yeah.
Some of that's good. That's what goes viral. It's not bad for the sport, but if it was everybody in the sport, it would be bad. You know what I mean?
Sure. I was about to ask you something, Scott.
Listening.
Fudge. I totally forgot where I was going to go next with this. So that's awesome. Oh, Scotty. Do you think he grows out of this, say 3 years from now? He's 450. He's been in the 450s for a couple years, maybe 4 years from now. Do you see, like, okay, Cooper Webb. I told Cooper last time he was on, I didn't like you when you were on 250s. You're cocky, attitude. I don't feel like he's quite the same guy. Does Hayden change significantly on the 450s, or just stay kind of the same? Just it's obvious, I guess.
I think you'd say naturally he would probably mature a little bit, and I think he will. I do think the argument people say, well, guys like Barsha or Tomac or they're not going to tolerate that. I'm like, well, I mean, they're probably not going to race him. They're probably going to maybe.
Somebody, I heard somewhere.
Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, it was like, they're not going to put up with that. But honestly, in like 3 years, all those guys almost are gone.
And I think that the way it's set up for like cinematic purposes, which is what they are, everybody keeps saying the WWE or whatever. I think that they set themselves up to be a very good, somewhat antagonist to the Jet and the Hunter Lawrence, the Lawrence Bros. I think that they'll play off of that a lot. Like, I think that they'll use mind games. I think he'll try to do mind games with Jet for sure. I mean, right now he's been able to back it up, and that's why it keeps being entertaining, is because he keeps backing it up. If he does that in the 450 class and is not able to back it up or doesn't back it up, then that's a problem.
Sure.
And I think would also be what silences it. But I think that if he's battling for race wins with Jet and stuff, you're definitely going to see them play the antagonist role in that.
All right. Let's move on from these topics. We got a whole bunch more that we're not going to get to before the guest like I had planned. First giveaway.
It'll be all right.
Huh?
It'll be all right.
Race Tech giveaway. You guys know Race Tech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company with over 40 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. So here's what we're going to do. I was digging around. I found a couple old shirts. They're new shirts, but they were put away. I forgot I had them from Race Tech. I've got a couple larges and a couple mediums, and I've got some hats. So we're going to do a shirt and hat giveaway. And then I have 2 of the shock rebuild certificates. So you get a free shock rebuild or $140 off a shock.
I think you meant to say you have 1 shock rebuild kit.
No, certificates.
Well, okay, you have 1. No,
I have 2.
No, you have 1.
Oh,
yeah. He's saying he wants one.
Oh no, you're ineligible. You have to pay full price.
Yeah,
so I have 2 of these.
Actually, 120%.
So here's what we're gonna do: the hat and shirt is going to be for everybody. If you listen later on in audio, or if you're on YouTube right now, you have to hit us up at MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. And Checkers from Race Tech sent in a couple trivia questions. So this is for the shirt and hat, and we'll do this. We'll pick a winner before next week's show. So I'll pick a winner that Tuesday morning, and we'll talk about it on the show. What current factory rider did one race on Race Tech and won a professional Supercross off-season race in Canada? I did not know the answer to this. So thankfully, Checkers provided the answer. So that is for the hat and shirt.
What's the answer? I'm just playing.
Okay.
Some
for
questions.
the 2 certificates, we'll take 2 winners if 2 people get it right. What rider was a factory-supported rider while operating a Race Tech service center?
Okay.
If you've listened to this show long enough, when we used to do service center spotlights in the rinks, we talked about it. So
I know this one.
MotoXpod show at gmail.com for the Race Tech giveaway. Okay? We've got about 5 minutes before we get Austin Forkner on.
The chat wants to know if you have to wait like 3 or 4 years to get the...
Sorry, this is continental U.S. only. Okay?
Good call. Good call.
Yeah. The certificate I might be willing to mail to Canada. The box, the shirt and the hat, not happening unless you want to pay for it yourself. Especially or not Australia. Sorry, Tay-Bill Jam.
Yeah.
Sockgate. We're not having that again. Yeah. You ain't getting me again.
Now you just can't win.
I want to thank, if you're watching on YouTube in the back here, we got a new jersey in the studio. Benny Bloss gave me his
move your head.
Practice jersey.
There you go.
So thank you to Benny Bloss for the jersey.
I'm glad it survived.
Yeah, that was exciting. Man, okay. There's so much I want to get to, and I just don't feel like we have time. Justin Cooper,
Dude.
winning next weekend. We already know this. I told him on Track Walk Saturday morning. I said, just so you know, I stamped you 5 weeks ago or so. You're winning next week. Is like, well, so not today. was like, well, you can win today too, but you're winning next week. Don't make me look dumb. No pressure. And he just laughed, said, okay. Amazing ride in this main event. Hell of a season, in my opinion, on the 450, full season on the 450. For sure, in my opinion, could have beat Coop. Just looked fantastic. I don't remember. It might have been Weeds or somebody overheard saying that he overheard somebody at Yamaha saying they may give him the second place bonus, Cooper's second place bonus. I don't know if that happened. I texted Jay Coop and asked. He hasn't got back.
For like the race.
For Denver.
Yeah,
Denver,
I would hope that they did because
Jay Coop, man, currently 4th in points. He's 10 down on Roxon, so he's probably going to move into 3rd. Malcolm is, I think, 6 behind Jay Coop. So those two guys are going to battle in Salt Lake City for 3rd place overall. But I am stoked on Jay Coop, man. He's kind of quietly becoming one of my favorite riders to watch. Scotty, hell of a ride and a good teammate because, he could have. I think he could have got second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was super impressive, and to be able to not pass somebody while also hold somebody else off is, I mean, that's not an easy task. And like, when I was thinking about it, I mean, he could get to 3rd in points. He probably will. He's kind of the last half of the season has been the 3rd place guy. I thought it was going to be AP. He went on that streak where he was like either pretty much podiuming every weekend, and then the last couple of weeks haven't been as stellar. And Jay Coop is kind of that heat race the weekend before was fantastic. I think that he's really shown a lot, and if he can improve as much as he did where he's at now from the beginning of the season, if he can do that again coming into next year, hey, he'll be up there.
Yeah, you mentioned AP. Just so you know, and for the listeners know, towards the end of the show, we're going to do it early, but we're running out of time. I've got about 5 riders that I want to ask you if their season was successful or a disappointment. AP is one of them, but I'm not going to give you the list. I'm going to throw you in.
Okay,
hot.
sounds good.
But going back to Jay Coop, I went back and rewatched the race in Denver today, and I forgot how far back he was at the beginning. Like when maybe lap 2, he was like 8th, and
I was
caught those guys. Just putting some heaters down. I'm not one to go always back and look at the lap times and everything, like Lewis would do that kind of stuff. I wonder how fast his lap times were compared to Chase, because he was definitely faster than everybody else.
I'd have to go back and look, but I watched that being in the stadium. I saw where Jay Coop was at the start of it, and then kind of went to watch the front and then looked back, and he was just steadily moving up, and I pulled it up on my phone, and I was like, dude, he's rolling.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect that at all. And then to keep Mookie behind him while also not really putting any kind of pressure on Webb. And Mookie, I honestly kind of thought Mookie might win after the heat race.
Oh, okay.
Being in the stadium and watching it.
Yeah.
But to keep him behind him like that and not really put any pressure on Webb where he could have made a mistake, like, I don't know how he did that. It was awesome to watch.
Well, if you watch it close, Cooper made a couple mistakes on those last 2 laps where – and I saw it in the stadium in one of the corners where Jay Coop almost ran into the back of him. He was really having to work to not pass him.
Yeah.
And that goes back, I mentioned, like, Cooper Webb really was struggling in his corners. I noticed it live, so I asked him in the press conference. And then rewatching it, like, almost every corner, Coop was, like, kind of double turning almost. Like, it'd be a little bobble or a foot dab. He struggled all night, but Justin, here's what I want to go to. We got to get Austin on the phone in just a second. Outdoors starts in just a couple weeks. Last season, 8 top 5s in 10 rounds, and his worst finish was 10th at Budds Creek. Like, Justin, I don't know if he'll be a threat outdoors with everybody coming back, with the full field.
It's stacked.
But Justin is somebody that needs to be considered, Scotty.
I think so.
For a future threat, for sure.
He starts good outdoors.
Yeah, his build or his growth this season has been very impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. I think that, I mean, you can't, until he's not, I don't think you can say that he's not one of the guys that can contend for podiums and that kind of thing. And I don't think it'd be surprising at all to see him be tied in the points and be second or third a lot of the weekends. I mean, it's definitely there.
He did have a red plate last year.
Yeah.
At one point.
Well, I don't know, man. Again, our first guest is on the line, so we're going to get to him, but I do want to talk a little bit more about Justin Cooper. Very, very impressed. But first guest of the night's on the line. He's going to be brought to you by Racetech, again, the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company with over 40 years of experience providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. Racetech Gold Valves provide a plush feel with drastically improved bottoming resistance and increased traction. All Racetech products are 100% guaranteed, made in the USA. Our first guest of the night, brought to you by Racetech from the Triumph Factory Racing Team, our buddy Austin Forkner. What's up, Austin?
What's up? How's it going?
It's going good, man. How are you feeling right now? We ready for the showdown?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, we've just been riding outdoors this week, so we're kind of on to. I mean, obviously, yeah, we have the showdowns this weekend, but we're kind of shifted focus a little bit onto outdoors already. So we're kind of already started kind of down that road because we haven't really done any testing for outdoors either. So that's kind of, I guess we're kind of going to start that now, I guess today and over the next couple days before the showdown. But yeah, I'm ready for it. It's going to be do you guys know, is it a day race or a night race?
I believe it's a night race. I guess I should have been prepared for that. I'm not going, so I haven't even looked at the schedule yet, but I think we're back to a regular schedule for the finals.
I hope, because that dude, Salt Lake is terrible as a day race. That dirt is so bad as a day race, or like even in practice, it is terrible. So if it's a night race, I'm actually a little bit more happy to hear that, because the day races they suck. So actually a night race hopefully isn't too bad. So yeah.
Hey, Scotty or Chase, will one of you go to supermotocross.com, hit the schedule, and see if you can find the schedule?
Yeah,
double check that.
I'll find it.
I don't like the day races, Austin, in general. Like even Denver, just dude, the shadows and it doesn't even, just for a fan perspective, day races kind of suck for the night, for like the open ceremonies and everything. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Day races just aren't cool. Getting out of there early is cool, but besides that, there's not really any positives.
Yeah, no, the shadows at Denver look terrible, which I've ridden in that, and it does suck. It's so hard to, like, when the shadows are halfway around the berm and you're trying to look at the rut going in, but then it shifts. But also the dirt is different within and without of the shadows. So like the rut will be deeper at the first part of the turn where it's still in the shadow, and then it'll be hard or turn into no rut at all in the exit. So like that's things that, like, obviously the promoters don't really think about, but that and just how your eyes adjust to them too. Like you can't even, like, if you jump into shadows, you can't even see the ruts, like for a split, half a second or a second for your eyes to adjust. But that half a second is like, that's obviously that's huge. So
yeah,
like that's, nobody really thinks about that, but yeah, that is a huge deal.
Chase, it looks like it's a regular night race, right?
No, it's Race Day Labs RDL's at 1 p.m. Eastern. So
what did it say at the gate drop, though? I thought it said gate drop 7 o'clock.
It's at 6:30 Eastern. So that's 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
So it's 4:30.
Yeah, that's 4:30, dude.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Yep.
Well,
back to outdoors prep.
At least it's not like it doesn't start. So, but is that main event gate drop, or is that?
I think that would be
opening ceremonies.
Yeah, opening ceremonies. So.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully it won't be too bad. At least by main event, hopefully it's like it's dark, so the moisture's starting to come up. But it's more so the ones that start at like when the actual schedule starts at like the heat races are going at like 1.
Yeah, no, it's later than that.
So mains are at like 4:30 or 5. Like that's just when it's terrible.
Right.
But there's a chance. I guess there's a chance. So we'll see.
Okay. What do you say, Chase? We're good.
Never mind.
It's fine. Yeah. All right. So let's get into Supercross, Austin, a little bit. We've talked, I think at Birmingham, I talked to you, and I know our guy Lewis Phillips has interviewed you a few times, and you've been pretty open about working on building confidence and, just dealing with the injuries, coming back from the injuries, and trying to just get your confidence back. So how has that been tougher than you expected?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I feel like I kind of have at least, well, I don't know if 100% moved past that or got that out or whatever, or figured that out, but It was definitely more at the forefront at like the beginning of the season. That was kind of like probably one of the I guess main roadblocks that I was kind of running into was just the I guess the fear or just the second thought, like just having that second thought, like that's kind of what's crazy is that's kind of all it takes is for you to just have a second thought. If you have to think twice about anything in this sport, that's all it takes. Like, do I want to go this rut or that rut? You don't have time to think about that stuff while you're on the track. Like as simple as that, you don't have time to think about that. Or if somebody comes over on you in a rhythm section and you are like, ooh, should I check up or should I still hit this? You don't have time. You just have to just act straight off of just instinct. And that's what I was second guessing and thinking about stuff too much. And it's that, like, that doesn't seem like a big deal probably to most people, but that split second thought. But if you're doing that at multiple times throughout the lap or the race or whatever, like that's where you lose time, and that's where you lose confidence and all that stuff. So I feel like it was kind of just obviously like thinking a little bit too much, but just having that second thought is enough to like everybody thinks, oh, he's just messed up in the head after. It's not a huge deal. It's just having that split second. Oh man, ooh, that was a little. Ooh, I should probably just double this. That guy kind of came over. Well, that is enough. That's enough to kind of, to throw results off or to throw, the riding off. So I feel like I've worked through that a little bit. Like my results, or I guess maybe not so much my results, but my riding has definitely been a lot better over the past, like, probably 3 races or so. It's definitely got better, as in, like, I started to show up in the top 5 and practice, and had some, P2s, P3s, stuff like that in practice.
Yep.
Or would go to the top every now and then. So I kind of started to show that speed, where at the beginning of the year, everything was kind of off. Like the speed was off, the starts were off, the I guess like pace in the race was off, and the fitness wasn't like there was kind of, I feel like a few things were off, and now I feel like all of that's kind of like definitely came together a lot more. Like it was at first, the first thing that came was the speed. Okay, oh, he's P1, he's P2. Okay, that's the speed. We know he can do that for a lap. But then get to the races, and that was at I think my first showing of that was at like the first East-West shootout, whatever that was, Indy or
I think it was Indy. Yep.
Yeah, whatever. Because I was P1 in the first practice session, so it was like, okay, sick. But then racing came around, and I was not near as good, either in the heat race or the main. Okay, race later, a couple races later. Still qualifying good. Okay, I put together a decent heat race. Okay, well now, and then the main still wasn't good. That was the one with the 2 back-to-back whoop sections. What was that? Pennsylvania. All those East Coast races just blend together. Whatever the one was, like 2 or 3 races ago with the back-to-back whoop sections. That race I qualified good. I had a good heat race. I went down in the heat race, but I still rode good. But then in the main there, I didn't ride very good. I got kind of pumped up about halfway, and then was kind of just just kind of riding my laps. And I was in 5th, which would have been my best finish of the season, which I think would have put me 4th, because I'm pretty sure Thrasher got docked a position for something. And then I went down to the whoops, just kind of got kicked sideways with a few laps left and got 7th. But whatever. At least like the main was shaping up to be better. And the whole day prior to that was definitely better. And then the last race, it was kind of the same thing. A lot better in qualifying. Heat race got 3rd. And then in the main, Seth kind of came over on me coming out of the whoops, and I jumped into that tough block. But after that, like, I let the leaders by. Like, they came around to lap me, and I let them by. And then I hopped in right behind them, and I ran their pace. Like, I was on RJ for like, I mean, I don't even, 5 laps, 6 laps. Like, I was on him for a long time until somebody else took me out. I got taken out, or he took us both out in a corner. But I was right on those guys. So like, the riding at the last race all day long in the main, everything was definitely a lot better. Definitely on on pace with where I need to be. Like after the race, looking at lap times, I was kind of like a top 5 lap, my lap times throughout the race were kind of top 5 times. So that's definitely like everything it's been slow, and that's why the season hasn't been good, because the last thing to kind of come has been the results. But the riding has gotten better, and there's been certain things throughout the year that have, like, pretty much everything has improved from what it was the first race. So, I mean, if you're strictly looking at paper and results, maybe you wouldn't see much improvement. But if you have actually been involved in the program and been involved and seen me ride, the difference from the first start of the season to now is pretty noticeable. So, I mean, I guess that's good.
Yeah, I learned, the biggest thing I learned was that you don't have to second guess everything you do in your riding, because that's how I ride. Like,
It makes you ride slow.
yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't know I thought that was standard. So yeah, I forget that you guys.
So you're saying you learned something tonight?
Yeah, you learned something.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I thought that was standard protocol,
No.
is to second guess and be scared crapless.
So, Austin, that ride, that was East Rutherford that you were talking about.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you qualified 4th, and you were 5th for a bit. Yeah, you've had moments for sure where, like, oh, hey, there's Austin, right? And I think you kind of touched on landing on some tough blocks, some silly little falls, and tangled with some of the other riders in the back of the pack that you're not used to racing with. And I would assume that comes from exactly what you just said. A little bit of second guessing, not having the confidence to shoot the gap. And then we see, but really, I feel like if you look at it overall, it's been a fairly successful season considering what you're coming off of. Finishing healthy, I think in 24 and 23, you only finished 2 races. So if you take everything into account, you have positives.
Yeah. That's like, so yes, the one, I feel like, just going back to what you said at first, the shooting the gap and riding with all those guys that I'm kind of not familiar with, that has been another kind of thing where I'm riding with, with 5th to 12th place guys, or 7th to 10th place, wherever that's been for a lot of the season. Those guys ride completely different than the guys in the front do. It's completely different. Like those guys will run it up the inside, hit you, then get sketchy. Like they don't have it's almost like they just don't care if they take you out and they go down as well, because like the front guys, like, yeah, they'll run it in on you, but typically it's not going to be something stupid that could take themselves out as well. Where all the guys I've been riding with, I think they turn their brain off, but not in the good way, because because it's like, dude, some of the stuff, like I'm like, what was your plan there? Like, what we hit, you went so inside that we hit head on. Like, I've had a couple where I'm like, dude, what do you like Barsha and Mookie a couple of years ago at Salt Lake, like stuff like that, where I'm like, what was your plan? I caught you, passed you.
Yeah.
And that's your plan, is it, like, not to like follow like a guy at the front, or I guess, how the guys at the front ride is, if you get caught and passed, they're going to jump in behind. Like, your thought is, okay, they're faster than me, let me jump in behind them, follow them, and try to learn from them. Not just make a stupid bonehead head-on collision, basically pass in the next turn. And it makes it even worse that it's for 12th place. Like what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, well, for those guys, that's lit life or death almost, 12th or 11th place. So
yeah. I know. That's not where I'm like, I'm not used to riding back there with those guys and riding like that, like having to constantly look over your shoulder. So
yeah, you're used to lapping those guys.
Yeah, that's made the kind of whole riding cautious and that whole mindset, like, be careful, don't go down, make the second guessing. That's made it that much worse, which I don't have anybody to blame except for myself. Like, I need to get better starts, and I need to not be back there with those guys. But the reality is I have been back there with those guys. So the second guessing and the the riding cautious and stuff is even more dramatic when I'm riding with those guys back there, and especially with how they ride, like I'll be going through a whoop section and some guy starts out on the far left side and you don't know if like I might be far right. Dude, I would not put it past them to come all the way across the track. It's like, dude, you can't hold your line. Like, come on. But whatever. That's I just want to touch on that because you mentioned that, because that has definitely made it, I guess, harder to get kind of overcome the hurdles that I'm trying to overcome when I'm back there with those guys, and just kind of being back in the pack in general. Even if guys are riding in a straight line, you're jumping through 3 wide in rhythm sections and stuff like on the first lap. That's sketchy. Like, you don't know what, like a first lap, if you get started 10th, a first lap at a Supercross race, I don't think people understand. That is hectic. Like that is very hectic. You don't know if guys are going to jump the triple, roll the triple, like somebody's going to come up your inside, somebody's going to jump across the track from another like it's chaos on the first couple laps. So it's like that's been a whole kind of learning curve in itself. But yes, I'll back to the making it through the season healthy. I mean, like, that this year was a goal just as much as I would say winning a championship, winning races, doing that stuff. The goal of making it through the season was just as high, if not higher, than that stuff. Like, obviously, yes, that it's still a goal to get results and to be a guy like running up front, battling for podiums, wins, whatever. But with my history, making it through a whole season healthy, like, I would say that was probably a bigger goal than anything else, especially now that, I have my son and everything. Like, that was a bigger goal than anything else this year. So
sure.
I am, really happy to make it to the last race. It's the first time since 2020 that I've made it to the last race. Well, I guess I think I raced the last race in like 2022, but I missed a bunch of the middle races after Jet cross jumped me at Dallas. But, yeah, I mean, I think in 2020, what was it? 2023, when I crashed in the first turn, I didn't race, Supercross at all that year. Last year I made it 2 races and then didn't race at all the whole rest of the year. The year before that, I made it the first until Jet cross jumped me. That was 2022, I believe. And then I raced a couple. I think I raced 2 or 3 races at the end of the Supercross season. No outdoors that year. Remember, I think I blew my what'd I do? I tore my shoulder. The year before that, I was the COVID kind of rounds, and I think I got hurt in practice at the 3rd round. So, and then I don't think I raced any more Supercross that year either. So, in the past, if that's just quick basic math, that's 1, 2, 3. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done, I think, quick math, 10. Let's say 10 to 12 races in the past 5 years since.
That's wild.
So that's what everybody like is. Oh, you're, I'm 26. You're a veteran. You're this. You're that. You have all these race wins. Whatever. But I mean, I feel like a rookie out there sometimes. Like, like I don't feel like a veteran at times, because I like, even this year, I'm talking about how to ride with guys from 7th to 12th place. Like, what guy that's 8 years deep into his career or whatever is saying that? Me, because I haven't gotten that experience, especially in the past 2 years. Like, in the past 2 years, I've raced 3 Supercross races, 3 1/4.
That's crazy.
Not
Yeah.
even that. I didn't even make it through the heat. I made it to the first turn, not even to the first turn. So
Right.
I've made, and since 2020, I guess 2, I've raced about 2 races, less than 2 races, because I crashed at Dallas last year with a couple laps left, or like 2 laps left. So I've raced less than 2 races in the past 2 years.
It's cool.
So that's just like that. That is, I mean, it's just, I don't know, like that. That's just kind of, I feel like how important it was to just make it through this.
Yes.
Season, regardless of the results, just because when you look back at that and you think about that, like, not racing for 2 years and then coming out and even being at the second race, I think I got a 7th or something. Like, I mean, obviously I'm not stoked with that, but I think big picture, looking at the past couple of years, that's not bad. I don't feel like that's a bad position to be in, especially with changing teams, everything, all that stuff this year. Like, I don't feel like that's a bad position to be in, but it's only like, that's what the riding has definitely gotten better. So, I mean, that's good. And yeah, like I said, just to make it through the whole season is a huge, I feel like, accomplishment. Like, that's something that, I mean, I know people are going to look back on this year and be like, oh, it was a bust year, was as far as Supercross goes, whatever. But I mean, if I can make it through the last race, that'll be the first time ever that I've raced every Supercross race of the season ever.
Yeah, I think that's very, very important. And fans and media, we need to remember that. You even mentioned just a minute ago leaving Kawasaki, since you'd been on since like 2011. So much mental, emotional type of trauma over your last few years of racing. So I like what you're saying, and I agree. I think next year is going to be key. But what I want to know is the team on the same page as you? Are they kind of okay with that mentality? Because I have heard, like, during the week, you're one of the fastest guys a lot of the time. Are they okay with it? Are they getting a little frustrated? Have you felt any heat?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've definitely felt a little bit of heat. Not a crazy amount, just that, I kind of, and that's kind of what I have to go back and remind them a little bit, is like, hey guys, like, before I signed, like, with you guys, and because I flew out here and kind of just met everybody and got a tour of everything and just kind of checked everything out before I signed anything. And I was like, when we talked then, you, like, that was obviously still whenever Bobby was around, but still, like, the rest of the team was all the same. And I just, I'm like, we had to talk then, like, that the main goal was to make it through the season. Like, that's what everybody kind of, like, we were all on the same page about that. So I just am like, hey, look, I'm frustrated too. I promise. If you guys are frustrated, I'm triple the amount of frustration that you guys are. Like, you think that I enjoy battling back there with guys that I don't even know their names, dude? Like, no, I hate that. That frustrates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that at all. Coming from winning the first race last year to coming through the pack and with 2 laps to go would have dominated Dallas. Like, it's so frustrating to be battling back there with guys who just, I mean, no offense to them, but frankly, I'm a better rider than them. So, like, it's really frustrating to be back there with those guys. But, like, that's just where I'm at right now. So I say that I'm a better rider than them, but, I'm showing up right now, and that's just kind of where I'm at. So I'm getting better, and I'm making improvements, but definitely, at the start of the season, I was definitely, a guy that was back there with those guys that, those guys that I don't even know who they are. So that's, but yeah, like I said, I have gotten better, and I've made improvements, and even if I'm not, finishing the night with a result that shows the old Austin, I'm at least showing signs throughout the day that I can still, ride a dirt bike pretty decent. So that's, I guess, I guess that's refreshing to me and the team. Like, I remember whenever I did qualify good, I came back and they were like, dude, like, that's you. And I was like, yeah, like, I mean, I know, like, I know that's me. I still know how to ride. Like, I know how to ride. I just, dealing with some stuff, I'm trying to figure it out, but I can still, every now and then I feel like maybe I get lucky and I just figure out how to ride a dirt bike good. I don't know, but
yeah, it'll come back around, man. I think, like, I think we'll see a lot more of the Austin Forkner we know next year. I've been trying to give you, like, the year to get comfortable.
Making it through the end of it is, like, the biggest thing. It's such a, what have you done lately sport? What have you done for me lately sport? That we lose track of what you're trying to get back from. And then on top of all that, it's the first time you've ever rode a different bike than a Kawasaki, like, in probably over a decade. So, like, I think that the way that you have been able to respond to this and mature from it is bigger than what the actual results are. And, 7 years ago, probably don't think that you would have been able to do it the same way. So it's where we're at. And I think that you're in the right progress forward.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely been obviously, yeah, I'm not stoked on how the years went, but it's been a big piece of humble pie, it's been a humbling deal, and something that I don't know if I, really regret like how the season's gone, just because it's been something different that I've had to figure out. It's been a new experience that I've kind of had to go through. And honestly, it really it really gives me respect to the guys who are mid-pack guys who just keep showing up. That does give me a lot of respect for those guys, because it's easy to keep motivation and to go through these injuries and stuff with motivation of I went out winning. So, that's just a lot of motivation to use coming through injuries or going through stuff or whatever, you can always remember that. But when this year, I've kind of been a mid-pack guy, and it is really, really, disheartening, I guess, to just keep showing up when the results aren't getting better, when getting a podium and a bonus, seems out of reach. So you're battling for even my best finish of the season, a 7th. What's the difference between a 4th to a 7th? I can tell you, not much at all. There's a few points, but when you're not really a title contending guy, and you're not on the podium battling for bonus checks, I mean, it's kind of, there's been certain points throughout the season to where it's I'm in, whatever. I'm in, let's say 9th, and I got, 8th, 7th, and 6th all in front of me, and I'm going to have to push super hard. There's a couple laps left. I'm going to have to put it all out to maybe get one of them. It's almost what's the point? There's that's definitely been some thoughts that I've had this season. And that is definitely a new experience, where in the past, putting that extra effort in, putting that extra, drive at the practice track, that extra effort late in the motos, it's been for a podium, a bonus check. I'm in the championship hunt. It's been for those extra points. It's been for things like that, where, being a mid-pack guy, kind of like I've been this season, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to find the motivation, late in the moto when you're suffering to go from 9th to 8th. It's when you're not, battling for a championship, when you're not, in the hunt, battling for a big bonus check or whatever. It's kind of, it's hard to find that motivation sometimes. So I actually have a lot of respect for kind of the mid-pack guys that keep showing up. Yeah. Because that is, just something that, it's just been a new experience that I've had to figure out this year, because, in the past, I've always been at the front. So finding the motivation, finding that little bit extra drive, finding that little bit of just extra, whatever it may be, has been a lot easier than it has been, this year.
All right, I'm going to put my dad hat on, Austin, for a minute. You're a dad now, right? So, I'm going to say, when you say kind of what's the point? There's no bonus. There's no bonus check. Finding the extra motivation. That extra motivation to get those next 2 or 3 spots and to fight through is so that in 3-4 rounds from now, next year, you're in that top 4 spot, and then you're okay, I pushed through. I broke through that shell. I'm on to the next stage. I figured that out. That's the motivation, is to get back to where you were. Yep.
And that's what, in the last race, the one that I jumped into the tough block, that race, I smashed my shoulder into the landing of that off, and I was way back. The leaders came by. Yeah. And I kind of had that little thought, just man, dude, I could just pull it in right now. The bike was bent up. I was kind of sore. I was way back, and I was way back by the time I got up. So it's best case scenario, I'm probably barely going to get inside the top 10, if that. So it's kind of what's the point? But I put my head down and I charged, and I got taken out again. And then on the last lap, the guys in that stupid option turn that they had that was super, super tight on the outside.
Yeah.
Guys stacked up in there, and I hit them and kind of tipped over again. So I basically had 3 falls on the night. Bike was bent to hell. I think when I got taken out, ripped my hand guard off that I was running. Like, it was definitely a struggle, like, main event, but I didn't give up, and I rode hard all the way till the end, and I showed good speed, and that was something that I was actually that was about the first time this year that I was actually proud of how I rode in the main event, or just that it wasn't an easy main event, and I did make some mistakes, but I didn't quit, and I fought till the end. And I still don't even know what I got in the main event, but I was at least, like, I was happy with the riding, and I was happy that I did fight for those last couple spots. I think I made a pass in like the last corner going up to the finish line for, whatever it was, 16th, 12th. Like I said, I don't even know what I got.
15th.
Okay, great. It was from 16th to 15th. That's sick. So that's like, I made a pass on the last lap for 15th, but like, I was, happy that I did that. And I was happy that I rode hard to the end. And even if it was for, that I was actually, that was the first race of the season last weekend, or 2 weekends ago, was the first race this year where I actually kind of was like, okay, like, it didn't, obviously you look at paper, it was a terrible night, but I'm actually happy with how I rode tonight.
Well, I'm going to keep my dad hat on and say, Austin, I'm proud of you for that, man. Let's keep pushing. I like it. We got a few more questions for you. Go ahead, Chase.
Yeah. Austin in the YouTube chat, he was curious, after the Deegan and Davies incident, what would the stakes have to be for you to bump a teammate off the track like that?
Well, I got taken out by a teammate 2 races ago. So I guess not taken all the way out, but ran up into the tough blocks and got wedged in between them and had to stop, like, back the bike out of them and take off again. So, I mean, if it's for, to be honest, even a race win, like that wasn't, I had some people ask me about that already. That really wasn't, it really wasn't an aggressive pass. He went up the inside, he bumped him. And with kind of, I guess, any luck at all, Davies would have still gotten second and the championship would have still been alive. Mm-hmm. He went down and the bike was kind of down on the backside of the berm on that tough block, right where he wanted to pick it up. And it was loose, like, cloddy Denver dirt on the backside there.
Yep.
And I was like, they showed an angle of it and he couldn't get the bike up. Like, he was slipping when he was trying to pick the bike up, because the tough block was right where he wanted to be to get the right leverage. So he was having to pick it up at a weird angle on the backside of the berm, standing in the clods, and they kept rolling under his feet. So, like, that was, the pass really wasn't that aggressive. Like, he went up the inside, and I think Davies just didn't know he was right there, and he kind of just bumped him off. But it was just really, it was just an unfortunate place that he fell, and kind of situation of the whole crash just in general was kind of like an unfortunate deal. And that could happen probably 20 more times, and he would roll over the backside, turn around, and hop back on in front of the triple and probably not lose the spot. Maybe get past the third, maybe. But it was just exactly how that happened. That was just, one of those things. So I don't really say it was an aggressive thing. It was, I guess, an aggressive pass, but it wasn't like it was just kind of the situation that caused it. But yeah, for a championship, or not that was even a championship pass. Like, that could have just been the championship would still be alive if he got second. But for a even a race win, dude, I don't like, I'm not a guy that really cares that much about, like, I've just never really been a guy that's like, oh, my teammates are my friends. Yeah. I'm kind of there to do a job. Like, sure. whether I'm not gonna, just be a dick to my teammates. Obviously, like, we see them every day, so it's better to be able to get along. But if we don't, bummer. Like I don't like, I've never, I've really never had teammates that I would go hang out with after the race, or, hey, on the way home, you guys from the practice track, you guys want to stop and grab lunch? No. I have my own friends, and I don't, I've never really been a guy that's like, it's been hard for me to, like, separate racing and like a friendship. So like, you know, I just don't really, plus I just don't really feel the need to be friends with any, you know, I have great friends and I don't really feel the need to make a lot of new friends, I guess. And so it's weird. Like I personally, I don't know how the guys do it that are like best friends battling for a championship. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. It's like that. I don't know how you make that transition to like, hey buddy, good job. Even though you just cleaned me out and you just cost me $50,000 for a race win. Good job, buddy. Like I guarantee you if Hayden and Davies were friends before that, I guarantee you that just put a big dagger in between their friendship. I promise you that. Like maybe not from Hayden's perspective, but from Davies' perspective, he's not. Let's just say if he saw his Hayden's front tire off, he's probably not going to feel. He'll probably get a good smile out of it. I'm just going to say that. You know.
All right, Austin Forkner tonight, brought to you by Racetech. I want to do a couple just quick questions you can answer. The Alpine Stars airbag chest protector, do you like it? I texted you about a while back. You guys were making some adjustments. Do you think it's something that's actually going to work once you get the bugs worked out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think like it I've seen its benefits. Like obviously, having a little airbag, like, is it going to protect everything? No, you're still going to have. I mean, doesn't matter what knee braces you wear, doesn't matter what wrist braces you wear. If you crash hard enough, something's got to give somewhere. So but if it could, I've had a couple decent crashes this season. Not once have I had the wind knocked out of me or anything from like smashing my chest or my back on the ground. So, I mean, I can't say 100% that yes, I'm 100% confident it's going to work in every crash situation. But I mean, I've had some decent little crashes this year, and I've really never been that sore or any. I mean, they have one with a shoulder piece too. So if I had that one on for last weekend, I probably would have actually not even had that sore of a shoulder. So I mean, that's I do see the benefits. Am I just 100% absolutely everything? No, not yet. But I mean, we have made definitely progress because at the beginning of the year it was going off, when I would basically somebody could pat me on the chest and it would go off. So we've definitely gotten it better. And to go off only when you kind of have a big crash. So I am all about the advancements and safety. So yes, I'm kind of for it.
How is it riding with it after it goes off? Is it, I don't know, how long does it take to deflate, and then like how is it after that?
It deflates after like 30 seconds. I think that was one of the changes they had to make. I tipped over just at the practice track and got back up, and dude, it was hard to even ride for like it took like a couple laps for it to deflate. So they had to, like, I guess, poke bigger holes in it or whatever. So it can deflate quicker. They had to make a change there because I was like, hey, you guys, like, it was coming from it's a road bike thing, like a MotoGP, like that's where it came from. I was like, well, when those guys crash, they don't get back up. Like, they don't get back up and keep riding.
Right.
So we do, even if it's a tip over, even a big crash. So we need that stuff. We need that thing to deflate quick. So it's not like, holding me back while you're riding. And that's what it was doing at first. So they kind of, that was probably the biggest change that we've made since we've been testing it. So after it goes down within about a lap now, and then it feels normal.
Austin, you don't have to talk about this if you don't want to. I just wanted to bring it up. If you feel like saying anything, you're really good friends with Jerry Robin, who had a pretty significant life-changing crash a few weeks ago. I'm wearing my Jerry Robin t-shirt right now. And I know that probably had a little bit of an effect on you too with everything that's been going on. Do you want to talk about that, or would you just like to move on?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's like, yes. I mean, I hated that, he was in my wedding. So he was one of my, I guess, groomsmen, or like, he was in my wedding. So, and I was in his. So, I mean, it's, I haven't been friends with Jerry for years and years and years. We actually used to race against each other a lot. Like a lot of I would go up to Millville and he was always fast there and we would always battle and stuff. But just kind of in the past, I would say we met probably, I don't know, 2020, 2019, something like that. And we've been pretty good friends since then. And so yeah, that was probably the first time that somebody, you know, like really close to me has had a crash like that, or an injury like that, I guess. So that was definitely sucked. I went and saw him right after right after the race was over in the hospital, and that was obviously just really just sucked to see. But he came and visited me. He came and saw me after my crash in Dallas last year. So, you know, I knew it was going to be, you know, I knew it was going to be rough to go see him, you know, especially in that shape. I saw him right after he came out of surgery, but and he didn't even remember I was there, because he was still coming off the anesthesia. Like he called me the next day and he was like, "Hey buddy," and I was like, "Hey, you remember when I was there yesterday?" And he was like, "Nope." And I was like, "Well, I mean, that's fine. That doesn't matter. I just wanted to come see you." So, but yeah, I mean, it sucks, man. It's a huge reality of this sport now, and it's crazy. It's crazy that is, you know what is crazy? I'm going to try to make this quick, but you know, what's crazy is that in this sport, like I was talking to somebody about it the other day, and people breaking their back or their neck is like not a big thing in this sport anymore. Like I'll be honest, whenever Riley told me that Jerry broke his back, you know what my first reaction was? I was like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is a crazy reaction to that. And that is that, but that's, I was just leaving the track. My mind was still on racing and still on that's, I feel like that's just what you have to do, because like when you like, there's sometimes you sit down and you think about this sport, man, it'll put you in a dark place about it pretty quick, because like you see the amount of guys that have gotten hurt this year, like in my class, how many red flags we've had, and how many of those guys have broken their back or their neck or something serious. Like it'll take you down a really, really negative path really quick. So like it is crazy that so many people can have such devastating injuries in the sport, but then no one's even like, it's just, no one even talks about it. It's just move on. Like, it is just a crazy thing that, like, I don't know, somebody that's not like super, super involved with the sport was talking to me about that the other day. And I was like, yeah, this guy broke this guy broke that. But well, you know, whatever. I mean, it sucks, but you just got to move on. And they were like, that's just, and you just get back on the bike the next day or go out the next practice or the next race. Like, yeah, I mean, that's just something that is crazy in this sport, that it's such a brutal sport that when stuff like that happens, you just have to, it's almost like you have to shut it out so quick so you can keep doing what you're doing, you know? Yeah. It's just a crazy thing, but yeah, it does suck. And if anybody, like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have plugged it, but there's a Road to Recovery donation thing. I think there's like a couple different, but Road to Recovery is the main one that you can donate to Jerry, and kind of the whole road to, obviously, is Road to Recovery. But yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him quite a bit, and he's in good spirits now and everything. Like I mean, obviously it's gonna be a you know, a long recovery. You know, He knows that. And everybody know, you know, he's aware of that, and we all know it. But you know, he's positive, and he's still, you know, it was refreshing to talk to him after I saw him right after surgery, because he was, you know, obviously not in a super positive mindset, and everything was not great then. I mean, like that's when you're the most negative, basically. But now talking to him again, he's still Jerry. So that's it's good to see him. It's good to talk to him now. And I mean, I'm just, obviously I support him, everything, and I'm there for him, and I hope that he hope everything, you know, obviously I hope he walks again. I hope he makes all that progress. I hope he stays positive, and that's just kind of what I try to talk to him about almost every day. So it doesn't change that part, that it doesn't change how much it sucks, and that the sport is brutal, but I'm just you know, it's just kind of a reality.
Absolutely. Austin, thank you for your time. I know a couple of weeks ago you needed a little bit of time before you did this, and you know, Jerry's in our thoughts. There's Road to Recovery. Vital MX has an auction going on. Michael Lindsay collected a bunch of gear and stuff this week, and then I think the link for the shirt I'm wearing, if I'm not mistaken, is on Justin Starling's Instagram. Lots of ways to support, but please do that. Austin, good luck this weekend. Let's get through this season, man. It's I'm proud of you, and thank you for doing this for us.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yep, get back to that baby. I think I heard the baby in the background. So, yeah, get back to dad life.
He's hungry. I got to feed him. Yeah,
Okay.
Let me...
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
guys.
take care. See ya. That's Austin Forkner tonight, brought to you by Race Tech. A lot of good information in there. It's really good to hear his honesty with what he's been dealing with. He's always pretty open about it, so that means a lot to us. And yeah, I think
He tells you.
Yeah, it's easy.
He tells you
it's
like
easy
just like
to
it
go,
is.
Oh, he sucks now. He should just give up, or why's he got that ride? But when you look at all the things added up over the last few years, to just get through the season, get your confidence back. Like, it takes time, man. It's
Yeah.
And
he was very clear that was the goal, and I think he articulated it very well on what he's trying to do, and like that's why I made the point of this. We get so focused on this week's show and this week of what happened and what have you done for me lately that we forget that this is a work in progress. Give him a year and then see what happens. And I know we both kind of been on the same page on that. I'm not going to hit the panic button yet because I think he needs to get through this whole year, and he's doing that.
Right.
And he knows what he has to do in order to be able to stay safe and get through the season and progress normally. And then what happens next year happens next year.
Hey, you're only as good as your last race in the sport sometimes, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into X Brand Forum check-in. I've pushed Kevin Moranz back about 10, 15 minutes, which is fine because you'll like this. You can ask him about this, Scotty, but he's on the 18th hole right now. He's up in Salt Lake City. He's playing the course. They're doing a fundraiser golf tournament this weekend.
Sweet.
And he's playing the course early, I guess. So you can ask him about that when we get going.
Okay.
But let's do the X Brand Forum check-in. X Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including the 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, as well as motocross and supercross and arena cross riders like Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norrin, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, and many more. Visit eksbrand.com or go to your local dealership and check out all that they have to offer. X Brand is distributed through WPS at your local dealerships. The X Brand Forum check-in is titled One Off Gear, posted by MX219. Why does Alpine Stars and Fox do one-off gear for their riders and not sell to the public? I'm sure other companies do this, but to me, Fox and Alpine Stars stand out for doing this. For example, the gear Sexton wore last night was sick. I'm not big on the light blue, but it's clean and looks good. Apparently, it's the LE Steeler, which it is, which has me wondering why he didn't wear it last week. Well, because it's not black and gold. That's kind of why, I think. And the Steeler title MX-19 didn't actually have anything to do with the Steelers. But regardless, look at the version of for sale versus what he wore. The jersey for sale looks not as good. I'm going to change what he said.
That's not what he said.
Who would buy that? Alpine Stars, you have a sick logo. Use it. Don't write your name across the neck. Use your cool logo. Anyway, okay. One-off gear. I want to get your thoughts kind of briefly, and then I'm going to tell you I reached out to some different people. I talked to some guys at Fly, some people I know at Alpine Stars, some people at some other gear companies, and I got some answers from their point of view. What do you think, Chase, about one-off gear and not being able to purchase it?
So I wish I could purchase it. We start there.
Yeah.
Everybody does. But you're the best in the world. You're the top of the sport. I feel like there should be some stuff that you can get that the public can't get.
Okay.
I mean, you're special. Like, I get it. I do want to buy it. I still understand where you're coming from, but I also kind of feel like, I mean, if you're that good, you're like catered to as an athlete, I feel like you should be able to kind of have something that everybody doesn't have.
All right.
You know what I mean?
But do you think some gear companies can't really do that, right?
Yeah.
They don't have the budget or the means.
I'm sure that's a lot of it.
It's kind of cool when a company can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they do sometimes.
It's not here. It's the Slayer gear that Liat did. To me, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's dope. I like that some of them do that sometimes, but I also feel like, you know what I'm saying?
Now, Chase, you're a soul rider, but still, do you think that's
Chase
cool? Or did I say Chase? Scott?
Yeah. You're not wrong, though.
Well, I ride fly gear. I mean,
Well, I'm saying, but you're not probably going to go buy like LE gear, right? You're going to wear what you have.
if it's on clearance on Motorsport, like 3 years maybe.
But what do you think about it? Do you think it's cool? Do you
I
wonder
just think
why?
it just comes. I know. Yeah, I love that the fact that we get to see different gear and different things and themes that go along with the weekend or the destination that they're at. I think that's great. I mean, for the public to be able to buy it, I think it just comes down to being able to mass produce something like that versus making a one-off thing for your main guy that's promoting your brand to sell more stuff, there's just such a cost there. I mean, it just boils down to how much money it would take to do production of that. But as far as like being able to have that gear, I think that there's some of them that you can. You're not going to get the custom stuff, but I mean, most of the gear you can get something similar.
Similar, yeah. There's a lot, but Alpine Stars and some other companies do some very unique like designs that you're not going to get.
If you,
I'll give you a couple examples.
If you had enough money and you called Alpine Stars and you had enough money and you probably could.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I hit up JT. From Fly's perspective, he said like athletes want a unique look and they want to be able to do that too. And just recently, Fly's started doing that stuff since Cooper's been on and Hymus, I think, got a one-off. But in years past, they weren't in a place where they could or would do one-off stuff. But he said it's good for branding where everything starts to kind of look the same or blend together to stand out, and it builds engagement. Young people, they really think it's cool to have this, oh, I can't get my hands on that. That makes it cool. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Some of the guys I talked to in different gear companies, athletes sometimes request it, unique and special stuff. And it kind of it's a draw if you're able to do that to get somebody to sign for you. Oh, we can do something special just for you that nobody, you can collaborate and we can do something that you really want. So I think that's pretty unique. Another reason was collabs with other companies brings in new audiences, such as
the Antisocial Social Club.
Okay, yeah, but I was thinking about like Hunter Lawrence last year did a collab with Tool because it's his favorite band. So he had some Gibson guitars and Tool logos and stuff on his gear, on his Alpine Stars gear, and I damn sure wanted that.
Yeah.
Hell, I just wanted one of his jerseys to have, and you can't get them. And then like Jet did one, I think with Slash, and Jason Anderson did something with is it Namias? Nahmias?
I have no idea.
I remember there being like a collab with that company, but I don't know what it is. But so that was some unique.
Troy Lee and the Spider-Man or the Venom thing.
Venom,
that was cool. The Ghostbusters.
But I think you can buy that, can't you?
Oh,
that not
maybe.
For sale? I think that was for sale.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong.
Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, though, I mean, get as fast as Jet, and you can get whatever gear you want.
Okay. Well, that's one way, yeah. But and sometimes some of that stuff does filter into the main line maybe a year or two later. It brings more eyeballs, right? Because like I was given a description, if every factory team or every team ran the same exact graphics every week, it gets boring. But when they do like a special,
look at the 250 class, it's hard to tell even which, and that's why Deegan has a red helmet because you know who he is.
But when they do say a St. Jude's graphics or military appreciation or something unique, everybody goes, oh wow, it's kind of the same with gear. Oh, where'd that come from? I hadn't seen that. Can I get that? So it does build that. And then just brand authority, the fact that we can do this.
Yeah.
So those were kind of the reasons they gave me, which I thought was kind of cool. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
All right, that's the X Brand Forum check-in. How much time do we have? We'll let's do Evan's Coolant emails, and I'll text Kevin while we're doing that and see how close to being ready he is. Dead silence. Just give me a moment. Yeah.
Great.
Evan's waterless coolant protects your engines because it always stays liquid. Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always liquid cooled. Used by HRC Honda, Factory Beta USA, Ampro, Factory Yamaha, and many other teams. Regardless of sponsorships, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. All right, I just pulled one this week, and I thought this was kind of fun. What's the worst bike you've ever rode? Either of you got an answer?
Ever rode or owned?
I'm going to say rode. Yeah, let's just do it. The worst bike you've ever rode. Does anybody have any thoughts? I'm trying to text Kevin at the same time. I have mine if you want me to go first. That I can the one I can remember anyway.
My worst bike I ever rode and is the same as the best bike I ever rode.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, explain.
I had one of the early 2000s KTM 125s.
Oh, God.
And the motor on that thing was like, when it ran right, it was the fastest 125 I've ever rode.
Okay.
But those days were few and far between. To getting it jetted right or ran right and handle right was tough. But when it did run, My God, that thing had power. So
No linkage.
yeah, it was weird.
I never
the
rode one of those, so
the first
yeah.
time I rode it, all I got was head shake the entire time. I'm like, yeah, I can't ride this. And
Yeah.
then had to do a lot with suspension and mess with it. So yeah, it was the best and the worst bike I've ever had at the same time.
Okay.
Joseph Rivas had a Honda.
I think it's Revis, just so you know.
Revis.
It might be Revis, but
Just
I think
let
it's
him,
Revis.
man.
I don't
So
know.
well, it's a friend of ours. So
Okay,
like when
I
you
mean,
like
they
if he
don't know.
said Scotty Thompson, I'd be like,
I'd
no,
be
it's
like, all
Thompson,
right,
man.
whatever.
I'm just trying. I'm not busting balls because I do want to back off some of that. I think we do it too much. When I was listening back, I was like, damn.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
I thought it was.
That's not a
I
big-
thought it was
that's
more
not a
you.
big deal.
Oh, it was me? Oh, okay.
It was
You're
Joseph.
right. You're right. I can
Um,
be a bit of a dick sometimes, trying to be funny. So I was just trying to help
No,
him
you're
with
good,
our
you're good.
buddy.
He had a Honda before he got that Yamaha he just got rid of. He bought it and put clamps and every vet rider
Yeah.
part you could throw at
Yeah.
it. And I don't think he knew what was wrong with it because he had so much. He threw so much on it at one time, and it just handled so weird and it was so stiff.
A Honda handling weird.
Yeah.
You must have done something to it.
Yeah.
What do you? I don't like Hondas.
You don't like Hondas at
No,
all?
they handled. They turn too well.
Every Honda I've ever rode I've always enjoyed the handling, but the power was never. Maybe not. I haven't rode like one of the nice 450s, but like
Dude,
two strokes.
The new ones are ridiculous. Decker's is way too much, but the factory editions are actually surprisingly really smooth. Like,
So I got our next guest online. So I'll just briefly say the worst bike that I remember riding, maybe it was when I was a kid or whatever, but I don't remember. But the worst bike that I bought was I bought a 2000 Honda CR250 when I was going to get back into riding. And that bike was a piece of shit. I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't get back into riding
Yeah.
because this is awful. I'm so bad on it. I think and this was in 2006 that I bought this bike used. And I had rode in like 9 years. I was getting back into it. The bike was awful and I almost quit. And then I rode one of my buddy's 4-strokes. And I was like, oh,
No,
this is how a
this
bike's
is fun.
supposed to feel. So, yeah, I think that was the worst bike I ever rode. We'll ask our next guest his thoughts on that. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. And don't forget they have complete seats for the Talare and the Super 73 and covers for the Sur-On Segway. Visit gutsracing.com and use that promo code VitalMX to save. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from Team KM Racing, the winner of the Pulpit MX LCQ Challenge, Kevin Moranz. What's up, Kevin?
How you doing, my man?
We're doing good, man. So right off the bat, what's the worst bike you've ever rode?
Oh man, Dirty Dan. Worst bike?
Yeah. Did you? I
I
mean, even when you were a
really-
kid, did you ride a bike that you're like, ooh, this sucks?
I mean, not really, dude. I kind of grew up in I guess you could say, more of a less fortunate family, so I was just stoked to be on a motorcycle. To be super honest with you.
Fair, man. I like it. That's good. You're enjoying it. You loved it. You're appreciative. I like it.
Yeah, I've always I'm getting better at fine tuning and doing suspension adjustments during races, but like I used to always just ride what I got, whether it was working for me or not. I just had to find a way to make it work.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I think that's a little bit of what you do now. You have better equipment, but you find a way to make your program work. Man, you're one of the privateers, one of the first guys that started doing like letting fan involvement get involved and self-promotion. How has that grown for you and how is that going? I mean, this is what, 3 or 4 years into that?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've been doing the, fans come by, donating to sign the bike, and the Moranz Mafia stuff, so like Patreon and getting people's first and last names on the bike, for every race and on my graphics. That's been, I'd say we're going on 4 years now, 4 or 5 years.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, 3 or 4. And that, so you go to your setup, like I walked through there Saturday to come, make sure you want to do the show. And like, I was like, oh shit, I don't think I'd even been to your setup this season, which that's on me. I was like, damn, man, it's come a long way since like 2 years ago. And it was like a big, easy up, and you're big easy up this time and a full, almost like a satellite team setup.
Yeah, definitely. Big thanks to Champion Tool Storage for coming in and kind of being my partner in the team. And he's the one that provided the Renegade race hauler. And
yeah,
it's on me to kind of get it all wrapped up and looking good in a sense when it comes to the graphics on it and, putting canopy and kind of everything like that on it. But he brought that to the table and it's been huge for us.
How do you feel about your season so far? You know, it's always, I never really know where a guy like yourself, a privateer, like what your goals are, your expectations, and if you're meeting those. Because, I mean, some guys are just happy to make main events, right? Some guys are looking for top 15s. So where are you at on your season?
It's my season's going well enough to the point where I'm disappointed because I want to do better yet. Like every racer always wants to keep doing better. But based off of last year and thinking a little bit more short term, I am absolutely ecstatic with it. Considering I had barely 2 main events last year, I got a concussion right after the mutter in San Francisco, so I couldn't get my feet rolling. That was a pretty gnarly one for me, so it took me out for 4 rounds. And then after that, we here, hold on. Oh, yeah, we're good to go. And then after that, we ended up getting back, almost making the main event in Arizona, and then immediately in Texas getting another concussion, taking me out for another 4 rounds. Like I missed, I think 7 rounds of Supercross last year. So just never got my feet rolling, like, you know, my ball rolling is the best way to put it. And then, this year, a huge turnaround and back into most of the main events. And obviously, the Pulp race win was huge, putting that back into the program as well. So, yeah, man, it's just I am stoked on it, and now I want to be, you know, in that top 15 consistently. And I also would like to get out of these LCQs, so that would be sweet. But regardless, you know, we're making it happen.
Yeah. Let me ask you, you mentioned last year and the 2 concussions. For people that don't know a lot about your program, like I know you do some coaching right on the side and whatnot, but or you know what, you do some coaching, don't you? Or are you not doing that anymore? Or am I wrong?
Yeah. I do some coaching. Okay. Like we have mega camp coming up in the bar. That's going to be more than.
So, but when you have a season like last year, how does that affect your livelihood? Because if you're not racing, you're probably not making any money for the most part.
Like that's why I created the Patreon situation, so I can get fans involved, and that more or less creates a monthly income. Nothing crazy, but it helps. And that way, if I get hurt, I can still keep doing, you know, producing content, or at least, you know, doing giveaways and stuff like that to keep people entertained and keep people on board with that. Because I did that actually after I ended up getting life flighted from Atlanta Motor Speedway, 4 or 5 years ago. Oh yeah. And I was like, dude, like if I and I can't race, I can't make money. I was like, I need to get creative, find a way to create a monthly income for myself. So that's what, you know, obviously I ended up starting the Patreon situation. That's been awesome. But yeah, it's just been kind of one thing after another, getting creative to make things work. Because like you're right, like once a rider gets hurt, at least unless you're a factory dude that has a salary, which is not me, you stop making money. So yeah, you have to get creative with it.
For sure.
So curious, like with doing all the, like running your own team situation and all the extra stuff you have to do with that, do you feel like that hinders your like ability to train during the week? And or do you almost wish you were on a satellite team versus doing it? I know there's more money doing it the way you're doing it, but I feel like there's probably also a lot more responsibility to where you can't ride maybe as much as you want to.
Yeah, I mean, well, the biggest thing for me is even if I was on a satellite team, like I don't have parents that fund anything I have going on. So I have to fund what I have going on. So I kind of need to have the freedom to bring my own sponsors to the table and do this and that, because no satellite team is going to pay enough money to have me at the Lawrence compound and moving out of my house to then going and renting an apartment or buying a house at said training facility. Like, at least not that I know of, is going to be financially helping me enough to make it actually happen.
Right.
Obviously that would be great if something like that happens, but that's kind of why I've leaned into what I have going on, is one, because I do enjoy the business side of it just as much as I do enjoy the racing side of it. Yes, there's a lot of responsibility. Yes, would it be nice to have some of that responsibility taken off so then I can focus more? Yeah, and I'm hopefully working into that by bringing more people in to my team, so then it takes those, you know, tasks off my hands. But yeah, like at certain points, I do wish that, you know, I was just on a team that kind of took care of everything for me. I just show up to the race and I don't have to do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you know, I truly enjoy what I have going on right now, and it's cool to see the fans getting behind it. And I think it's a fun process of the building side of things over just the grind of training, I guess, if that makes sense. Yes, I would like to be able to focus on that more and have the financial well-being to just go to the Lawrence compound for a year. I don't have that yet, but you know, it's baby steps and it's progress, but I don't know, you know, it's tough to say because I could sit here and say I want to be on a satellite team, but then, you know, I've been putting a lot of work and a lot of time into the team that I'm building now. So it'd be tough to jump ship, but yes, it would be nice to not have the responsibility because I do think that I do sacrifice some of my results based off of the workload that I have.
Sure.
Yeah, the grass is always greener, man. It's super
Yeah,
it's super
yeah.
sick what you're doing. I really like the way you're running your program.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot because, yeah, there's been a lot of work and time and effort put into it. That's for sure.
Kevin, I was thinking about this. I was scrolling through your Instagram, just kind of looking at some of your posts and stuff, and I noticed, I think it was Alabama at the Triple Crown. You got, you know, on the pit board, you had say, hey, made a Triple Crown. And I started thinking, well, I love Triple Crowns, and I've been really high on them as a fan of the sport. And I wonder, as a privateer, are Triple Crowns like, you kind of wish they'd go away, or do you like them? Are they more difficult on you for your career?
That's a toughie because everybody kind of knows, like, I am not the best at qualifying, but I'm a good racer. So even in the videos and in the vlogs and stuff that we post to YouTube, like, you'll see me say, you know, we ended up 24th in qualifying, but when does that ever bother me? Because I'll race my way into it, and boom, almost every time I've said that, I've been in the main event. So, you know, qualifying straight in is obviously tough for me. At the last Triple Crown, I missed it by like less than 1/10 of a second, which was a bummer. But it's a give and take. I don't want to say I want to get rid of them because it is nice when you get into them and then you just focus, okay, I got to put 3 motos in, the best that I can do. You know, so then you don't have to worry about not making it, but also if you're not in and then you just don't get to race that night, kind of sucks.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I like them. I think, I mean, this year I thought the Triple Crowns were really good. You didn't make it into Glendale, but that was like my favorite track and almost probably race of the season. That thing was just gnarly. So yeah, I don't know, man. I like them, but then on the other hand, you got to think about the racers and what you just said. Yeah, some guys don't qualify as well. Some guys don't. They show up in the night in the races, and that's kind of unfortunate for you, I guess.
Yeah, it's I guess if I had a choice, I enjoy the normal racing format because it gives you a good chance in the heat, and I'm getting to the point where I should be starting to come out of the heats every time. And then obviously I'm pretty good at the LCQs, so like it's a pretty all right backup plan for me.
Yeah.
Over strictly just qualifying as your first opportunity, which I am not as strong at, and then one LCQ.
Sure. Scotty, do you want to go or?
Well, yeah. Before we get into, we heard you were golfing earlier, so I definitely want to ask you about that. But when it comes to this season and the riding that you guys had and the ability to race against the guys that you were, it seems like usually towards the end of the season, a lot of guys ended up being hurt or out, and then it doesn't end up makes it easier for you guys to get in. But I feel like that group that you're in, you know, trying to make the night show, winning LCQs, I feel like it stayed tight all season long. And did it feel that way at all? And then how was it battling with those guys in for trying to get that last spot in the main week in and week out?
Yeah, man, that's a tough one because like I've been making main since round 2. Or I mean, the first one I almost made the main event and I won. I missed it on the last lap of the LCQ and went from 4th to 5th. And then I would have to say, yeah, you're kind of on the right track of that. Like the bubble main event dudes, and there hasn't been too many of those that have out. So it's almost like you're racing the same dudes every weekend.
Right.
However, you know, I've kind of started to make the transition to be more like closer to like the Chiz Freddy, you know, group of us instead of, you know, I don't want to really name any other names, but like, I guess the little bit farther back possible main event guys. So like I was stoked with that this weekend is like I was right there with Freddie and Chiz almost the entire main event until like the last 3-4 minutes. And like you said, I don't know if I feel like I heard you say I want to talk about your cough or whatever. Cause yeah, I've been coughing and it felt good. So like
golf.
Golf. I think it's cough. But yeah,
let's talk about your cough.
I've been under the weather ever since the Mutter. So we had the Mutter, and then we had the super cold round, which was what, the East Rutherford or Fox or Philly or something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't at those, but yeah, I think there was 2 of them.
Inside
right?
journalism.
Yeah. Well, I was, yeah. There's 2 of them back to back.
Cold.
So yes, East Rutherford and I think Philly was both cold.
Ever since those, like I've been so mucusy and like coughing up nasty green stuff out of my lungs and stuff like. So like it's been a bit of a struggle. So like honestly, like this weekend's results I was stoked with.
Yeah.
How did he know that?
Yeah. Well, I was telling him though. Yeah. So we'll switch gears for just a second.
Okay.
Scotty, he loves golf, and I don't play golf, so I'm always like, shut up, man, about golf. So, yeah, he wants to ask you about, I told him you were on the 18th hole, so he got excited.
Okay. I guess so. I mean, I think that's playing golf is a lot like moto. It's a very mental aspect, so it's cool. I enjoy it. Like, yeah, how did your round go?
It went actually really well compared to, like, I didn't keep score on all of them, but, a fair amount of pars and a lot of really good hits for me. We're just kind of getting warmed up because we have the golf tournament, the St. Jude golf tournament out here with all the Supercross guys on Thursday. So my driving and chipping has gotten a lot straighter. Like I am more consistent. Maybe not the best, but the biggest thing for me is like trying to find consistency. So I'm not shanking them into the woods every single time.
It's all about management. Like the other day I played and I had a 38 on the front nine, which is like,
is that good or bad?
That's like pulling hole shot in like B class. Like that's good. And then
I don't know. I feel like it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. And then I shot a 54 in the back nine. So.
Well,
it's like completely wasted myself over the hay bales. Found Steve's nets, all of the above. Yeah.
So, Kevin, I've only played golf once, and it was at the MXDN golf tournament 2 years ago in Murrieta or Temecula.
I'm sure that was. I wish I would have seen
I had
that.
never played. Like all I had done is go to the driving range to try to, or actually across the street from my house. I called that the driving range, and dude, it was so bad. Like we were so bad. It was me, Michael Lindsay, and then Alex Gobert from Australia and Nick Still from Australia. None of us had ever played. They were doing the award. They were done with the award ceremony when we got done playing. Like they didn't even wait for us. It was so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Good stuff. So
I told them to fly me out and they at least have a decent one.
Hey,
but
man,
no,
it was fun though. But that St. Jude's golf tournament's going to be cool. I know Chiz is stoked. He's ready to play. So good for you guys.
Is Ricky involved in that at all? Ricky Fowler?
I don't think so. No.
I need to get back into golf.
Yeah. Well, let's move on though. I want to talk about this PulpMX LCQ race, LCQ challenge from the past weekend. You won that. I think right around 25 grand plus some prop bets. I don't know what the total was, but that's a huge deal that Steve Mathis does for the privateers. And that's that means a lot to a guy like yourself. It has to.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's huge for, the program that I'm building, even trying to put together something for outdoors. Cause like our program currently is Supercross only. We're hopefully going to be, expanding that. We're going to potentially try selling our rig. If somebody's interested in it and moving to a semi next year.
Oh, wow.
So that's a big step, obviously a lot bigger expenses, when it comes to that. So, it depends on sponsorship, on funding and everything, but it's good for me right now because it'll allow me to do something hopefully small for outdoors, hit at least a few of the rounds, keep myself at minimum in the LCQ fight for SMX. And then also, take care of my crew. So I've got Jackson, my new mechanic. We've got Justin, who's the one that takes me to the line because Jackson is 17, so they don't let him take me down the line. But Justin is the truck driver. We got Noah, who makes the vlogs and everything like that. And get them all those, take care of the crew that takes care of me. Take my girlfriend, Rachel, who's huge at the races and helping with the headsets and keeping my mechanic on track of what to say. Maybe take her out on a little vacation and then put the rest of it back into the program.
That's awesome. Yeah, Steve's really good at the privateers, and this thing has gotten really big over the last few years, and it's a lot of money. Let's talk about that second start, man, the staggered start. Obviously, everybody, not everybody, but some of the other guys were mad about it because you were not exactly in line. But look, man, they kind of let through the rolls out the window, so I feel like you sort of did the smart thing, and the other guys are just pissed because they didn't think about it, in my opinion. Give me your thoughts on it.
I hate the player, man. I hate the game.
Exactly. I feel strongly the same way of what you just said because, they said, you're lining up at stagger start, not going to be the same. As soon as the green flag flies, anything goes. And, it wasn't like I was told to line my front wheel up on the right side because so this is kind of maybe something that would have happened. But Thule was lining them all up to start. Yep. Well, I'm the second to last dude lining up. By the time it gets to me, Thule's not there. He's going back to the front of the line to put up the 30-second card. So it was a different, I don't know what his name is. I feel terrible. But anyway, it was somebody else that was lining us up. And I was like, hey, he tried to line me up. He just said behind. And he's like, I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to go to the left. And he's like, okay. Like, he didn't say no or anything like that. So it wasn't like I was breaking any rules.
Yeah.
But also, he said fair game. As soon as the green flag waves, you can do whatever you want. And then as long as you go in between the berm and the tough block. So I even told Chiz before we even started, I was like, hey, Chiz, I'm going left. Like, everybody's lined up to the right. They're going to have to pause for that split second for somebody to go. I'm lining up to the left. So as soon as he waves that flag, see you later. And Chiz was like, yeah, but I mean, everybody's going to go out and then squeeze right back into the exact same position when you get to the top blocks. And I kind of thought he was right, but I was like, I'm going to try it anyway. And boy, golly, did it work for me.
It did. It did. I mean, like, I thought it was great because when Tully asked, like, hey, should we do it like we normally do and you can't pass the white line or just let him go, and Steve said, yeah, let's just let him go and see what happens. He now kind of regrets that decision, but I thought, hell yeah, let's get some mayhem. Let's see what happens. And it threw a little monkey wrench in it, and guys like Grant Harlan, who had earplugs in, didn't hear about it. Sorry, Grant, but it was awesome, man. And I'm going to say, Kevin, I'm a big Chiz guy, man. I've been a fan of Chisholm for a long time. I think had he not crashed, he would have had something for you. But it was
100%. I don't know if he told you this, but so after the first one, he beat me fair and square. Like, he was hitting the triple in that rhythm that we all ended up hitting the next day. But I told him, I was like, hey, I'm not hitting it. Like, I'm not putting myself on the ground kind of deal. So I was like, if you're in front of me, because I was behind him in the first one and I saw him hitting it. So I was like, hey, if you're in front of me, watch out for me. Like, I'm not going to try it. But also, if you're coming up on the assignment, just don't take me out. Give me a rev. Like, I'll let you go kind of deal. Because, I mean, he was giving everything he had in it to Jerry. So Marshall Welton and I were, I think, the only other two that were donating 10% of our winnings to whatever we got to Jerry. And I know that Chiz was racing all for Jerry. So I was like, honestly, I would rather have seen Chiz win it. And he was faster than all of us anyway. So, yeah, like I told him, hey, I'm going left off the start. If you're getting close to me, give me a rev. Like, just don't take me out. Just go.
yeah.
So, yeah, no. I had Chiz, in the, for the P1 too, but it was unfortunate for him.
Yeah, but the race is really cool, and we have a question up on our screen right now on YouTube that
It's kind of a messed up question.
It's kind of what?
It's kind of messed up.
No, if you read the second half of it, okay, so the question says, Kevin Moranz, is the PulpMX race or LCQ race good? And then underneath, it's like, shit. So the reason I put that up there is Steve was like, hey, I think we need to do something different. I think it's sort of run its course being a regular race. We need to come up with something new that's more exciting, a different format. He was even like, I don't know, maybe we have him do a talent show and like, which, so he's just trying to think. He's just trying to think of another
Their
way.
talent. This was their talent
I know,
show.
but you get it. It's like, okay, has it gotten a little stale? Let's try something different, which is why he did the start the way he did.
I would say that, but I was gonna say this to Kevin too. Like, no way you ever thought that you were gonna go 2-2 with the way the format was set up.
Oh yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, and a lot of people told me like I rode really well and I was aggressive. I made passes, but like, yeah, having the 5-6 pass on the start definitely helped. Yes.
That's pretty entertaining. Yeah. He started at 21st and went all the way to second. Like, that's cool.
Yeah,
like that makes it exciting.
I said, I don't know if you heard me, Kevin.
I don't want to see y'all do tap dances or sing "Oh My Darling" and stuff.
I was in the manager's tower when they were all lining up. The engines were off, and I yelled, and I was like, I hope all you boys are ready for Chiz to pass all of you by the end of this. And Grant was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You say you don't want to.
Hey, I haven't got to that part where they talked about the whole race in Pulp last night. What was the first gate starting order? I never even saw. Like, what?
It was normal.
It was just normal
again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
I saw everybody down there like cheering, like the top guys there. I was like,
that's why another thing. Steve
I was hoping for that inverse start.
Yeah, Steve was mad about that too. That's why he's like, we got to do something different. But anyway, Kevin, dude, I'm happy for you, man. Good job. It's really great to talk to you, and I think your program is awesome. It's good to see a privateer being successful, and we really appreciate you jumping on here. I also want to tell you, Michael Halem 505 said to tell you hi. He hit me up on Facebook, said to tell you what's up. I don't know if you know who that is or not.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Well, cool.
He's usually always out at red button and everything.
Okay, yep, there you go. So he wanted me to tell you what's up. But thank you for coming on here tonight. Just good talking to you. Thank you so much.
Hit him straight.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm always down to chat it out.
Well, tell everybody where they can contact you and get involved with you if they want to help out.
Yeah, the biggest thing, I mean, all my information, kevinmoranz.com. If you want to learn how to join the Moranz Mafia, get your first last name on the race bike consistently, get entered for giveaways, behind the scenes content, stuff like that, you can hit the Moranz Mafia tab on the website. You can find sponsorship and all the partnership type stuff. You can go that route. And then, even if they want to message about buying the rig or potentially being a sponsor or something like that, it's support@kevinmoranz.com. So there's a lot of different options, but yeah, most of the information, just kevinmoranz.com. You can find everything there.
Perfect, man. Well, good luck this weekend. Finish the year out strong. And I hope you do well in that golf tournament, man. I don't know much about golf other than I suck at it, but good luck with it.
Yep. Nope. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Kevin. Take care, bud. See ya.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Bye. That's Kevin Moranz, brought to you tonight by Guts Racing. Dude, really killer privateer program he's got. Hell of a setup.
It is great because I remember when he first started kind of doing that. It was back when I used to go to a couple of races with you, and got to get the pit pass and everything.
Glendale was I think we went and saw him at Glendale. Yeah,
and I interviewed him, and to see where he's gone from that to the program that he's built to now, it's crazy. So congrats to him, and I think it's cool that these guys are being able to do this, and I hope to see the sponsors keep coming in, and so maybe some more outside sponsors. I've seen that kind of being trending. I love to see that. So I'd like to see a lot more of these guys be able to do a program like Kevin and make money doing it.
All right, we're going to work on getting John Short online just in a minute. We're going to have an interview with him, and then we're going to hit all of our segments, finish up a couple of topics I wanted to get to. Before I get John on, Kevin Moranz, I said, was brought to you by Guts Racing. Andy Gregg and Guts Racing is going to allow us to give away a Guts Racing seat cover on the show tonight. This will also be available YouTube listeners and all our audio listeners. So we'll also draw this winner next Tuesday morning. I'll draw it and I'll announce it Tuesday night. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. Just put in Guts seat cover in the subject heading, and I want a picture of your clapped out bike or whatever, your clapped out seat cover that you want replaced. So just send me some photos.
Am I eligible for this one? Because I qualify with my seat.
I can probably get you a seat when you get a bike. You don't even have a bike.
I do, and it needs a seat.
You're going to sell it, though.
Well, I'm not going to sell it.
I thought you were going to sell it.
Yeah, move on.
Oh, man. Okay, we'll figure that out.
Ride it.
So MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. If you want to, send us a photo of your bike. If you want a Guts Racing seat cover, we'll pick a winner. As I said, don't forget the Race Tech one. We had those 2 trivia questions. I'm not going to read them again. If you missed it, go back and listen towards the beginning of the show. Let me get John on the phone here, and we'll knock that out. But Kevin's situation is pretty cool. You really have to be very self-motivated to market yourself the way he does. But we do have our next guest on. He's going to be brought to you tonight by ETS Racing Fuels, and ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams in highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. Hit up etsracingfuels.com, find your local distributor, and grab you some of the same fuel that teams like Factory KTM, Factory HRC Honda, Rockstar Husqvarna, and many more use. Tonight, ETS Racing Fuels brings us Texas privateer John Short. What's up, John?
How are we doing? Thanks for having me on this evening.
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. It's glad to hear from you. It's been a long time since we've really heard what's going on. You've been kind of quiet, recovering from an injury. How are we feeling?
Oh man, it's an exciting time. Injuries stink, but it's been a lot of fun being kind of closer to home. Having my daughter, she's 2 now, so that's created a little opportunity to, spend some time with the family. But yeah, it's been I've kind of been out of it since the end of Supercross last year. So
remind everybody that's listening that doesn't know a lot about John Short what happened and where you've been, because you've been you got the opportunity at Factory Beta, and then you went back to your privateer bike, and then you had an injury.
Yeah, no, it's since 2022 we've just been off and on injuries, so we're trying to get a healthy streak going. But Factory Beta fill-in last Supercross season was a really awesome opportunity. Super, it's kind of what you dream of as a kid, getting that opportunity to ride for a factory organization like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, went back and finished out Supercross and tried to do the outdoor national stuff with the Mad Parts team, and man, I just wasn't very good. So I just wasn't very good. Those guys tried hard, so kind of I'm coming in this summer with a little bit more prepared, hopefully. And, well, I mean, I know I am, but, redeem myself a little bit because that was a little embarrassing.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, things happen. It definitely wasn't the best John Short we've ever seen, but look, man, we just had Austin Forkner on a little while ago. We're not seeing the best Austin Forkner we've ever seen either, right? This is a brutal sport. It takes a long time to recover when you have an injury and get back to where you were. Just like any other athlete at the elite level, it takes time, and there really is no downtime in this sport. Or if you do get hurt, we're like, oh, well, at least I have 3 months off where there's no racing. I can recover. It's like as soon as you're healthy at all, it's like, well, we got to go racing again.
Yeah, that's kind of where I've been. It seems like, even going into the last few seasons with couple, surgeries and stuff, you kind of get healthy, and it's like, all right, a few weeks go racing. And that was probably a little silly on my part to think I was going to do 3 weeks of motocross riding. Hadn't raced since 2020, and I was going to go be decent. So, anyway, but we had a really good off season leading into Supercross, which was really refreshing. I felt like I got back up to speed and everything, but got bit by the injury bug again. So,
okay, well, let's talk about now, right? We're shooting for some outdoor stuff as a privateer. You've got a little bit of backing. Tell us what your program looks like for 25, what your goals, your expectations are.
Yeah, so pretty excited. Been at it for a minute. I've got a local dealer that's going to support me, and just 5 or 6 of personal companies around North Texas that have kind of always believed in me. And so we're leading into the motocross series. I kind of want to reestablish myself. I was riding motocross really good this fall, and I have an idea of where I want to be. I at least want to be making the dang motos and scoring points. That's my goal, right?
Yeah.
Expectations aside, that's kind of my goal, is just to see how many points we can score this summer, maybe get a national number again, and kind of reassert myself, at least put my name back in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you said Outlam Dallas Honda is who's helping you out, and I certainly think you're capable of that. I mean, you had a lot of talent in the past, and it usually doesn't go away. It's just, like we said, we got to rebuild. So, but you have to have the mindset, I would assume, that, at the first round, maybe you don't make the motos, maybe you miss it. I don't know. Like, are you prepared that it's going to be a building process, I guess is what I'm asking.
I would say I know it's going to, it might be a few rounds to get going, but I don't plan on going to the events and not making motos again. So that's off the table.
Okay.
We'll go back to Texas. So that's I'm too old for that stuff. But
all right,
no, stuff happens though, and the sport of motocross is tough. There's a lot of young talent coming up, and I practice with a lot of young guys around here in North Texas. So yeah, man, it's a competitive field. I think that's why we keep coming back, right? To keep proving to ourselves that we can or can't. So
yeah, for sure.
When you're trying to get back to the states that you've been in, and the ability that you've had, what kind of keeps you motivated and keeps you grinding forward, and where are you able to take little wins from?
Well, for me, I think I take a lot of wins, like on practice days. When you're able to, when you get those, when you can chase the lap time, when you can get to the certain lap time, or keep up with the certain riders, and kind of have an idea of where you're at speed wise. But to me, what kind of keeps me coming back, honestly, is just kind of wanting to kind of check those boxes and go out on my own terms, I guess you could say. Which I'm sure that's what every athlete wants.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't want to just stop racing because I couldn't do it anymore. I'd like to achieve my goals this year, get a national number, score some points, maybe race SMX if that happens. And that gives me the option to kind of do what I want from there. So.
Yeah, it's just not easy, right? I mean, I really, going into the season, I remember a few people like Mathis and a couple of people were talking like, hey, what's John Short doing? And I was like, man, I know he kind of got hurt. And in my mind, I just maybe he's done. And I probably should have reached out. But when you don't see anybody for a little while, for, a half a season or a season, you just kind of think, maybe they called it. And like you're a dad now, right? And you got a wife, and you kind of have to think about your future and finances. it's not like you have a factory salary, right? So this all has to be taken into account. Is it worth it?
Correct. And honestly, no, the sport of motocross isn't worth it. I don't know why I keep coming back. What I keep doing. I think it's a family thing for me, as silly as that sounds, because I could go race the local series and it'd be a family thing. But my wife still enjoys seeing me out there pursuing it. But no, you're right. You're only as good as your last race. And my last race was Washougal, and I was like 20th, 19th or something mid-pack. So it's kind of like, well, yeah, that guy's probably done, but
yeah,
yeah, dude. Yeah. It's crazy. Motocross is crazy. There's been a lot of good racing going on though lately. So it's been fun and kind of interesting to go, man, where could I stack up and all this, so.
Well, all right. You mentioned your wife, Ashley. She used to rip on a bike a little bit. Is she ever ride anymore? Is she going to do any local races?
Retired. She has been retired for many a moon now.
But is she happy about that, or she doesn't want to ride ever? Like, it's just out of her bloodstream? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up.
Yeah, I've pushed her a little bit. I'll go buy you a bike or whatever.
Yeah.
And, I just think she's done with that. She had her fun as a kid, all she wanted, and now we've got our daughter, and her priorities have shifted, and she has no desire to do that. She's more interested in, maybe living through me a little bit, and also just focusing on, Georgia and getting her into what she's, whatever she is passionate about. We have no idea. She's so little, but.
Yeah. Well, that's cool though, man. She's a cool chick, and
she's super mom. She's super mom.
Well, you know what? That doesn't surprise me. The little bit that I knew her and was around her at some of the races, that adds up. So yeah, good. Scotty?
Yeah. So, we always look at what have you done for me lately? But you have to kind of step back and realize that the fact that you've been gifted the opportunity to do this long is cool. Like I raced John. Well, I was in the same class as John, and
you watched him take off from you.
Yeah, we were in the College Boy, probably 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And I never did anything with it. And I'm, the thing about that so long ago, and the fact that you're still able to ride at a professional level, man, it's just, I do it for fun. We all do it for fun. And it's just cool to see that you're still at the ability to be able to make money doing it.
Yeah, that's pretty rad. I didn't know he raced.
No, you wouldn't know me. I was probably. I think I went down and you lapped me, and yeah. It was.
Hey man, that's all right. I claim to race certain guys that are on the track now that probably lap me. So.
Yeah, it was at Swan. Probably, I think it was a Swan Pro Challenge race or something a long time ago.
Yeah.
Dark's talking crap like he didn't get lapped a couple month ago.
He got lapped by Emig. Yeah,
at his home track.
Yeah. Yep, Emig definitely lapped me. No doubt.
Yeah.
No, dude, Swan. There was a lot of good times at Swan. I remember racing with the Lone Star Series and the Nice Series and all that. You go out there and race. Seems like 4 races in a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
I think the last memory I have of you out there is that wreck on that step up where those bars snapped a couple years ago.
Man, I'm never gonna live that one down. Just for the record, dude, the bars snapped after the crash. That wasn't the cause of the crash. Just so we all know.
Right? Oh yeah. Well, yeah. No, I'd never seen a set of bars do that. So I'll never forget that.
What was he on that weekend? What bike was you riding?
Honda, right?
Okay.
And that was my Eddie Lee Honda 250 that I raced in Supercross actually.
Yeah.
So
and then this year that dude's tire blew out over Big Tex, and he went flying too. Yeah, there's always something crazy at the pro show.
It seems like you can go there. Go there and race, and you'll always tear up more than you make.
It's so fast. It's such a fast track.
Before we let you go, I know you have a USMCA license, I believe, and you've been doing some coaching. How's that going? Is that something you enjoy enough that could be like a long-term gig?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I fell into the right, place and property and stuff doing that would be a lot of fun. I think for now it'll always be like a pretty big side hustle. There's a lot of competition with that, but I really enjoy it. There's a lot of riders at the facilities and stuff that are chasing the dream, whatever. I think I get more enjoyment out of working with those guys who never really see a coach. And then you can make a lot of progress and a big impact in a guy's, I guess, riding keeping him safe for the entirety of his riding career, whether that's just weekends or, Swan Series, whatever it is. I kind of like that crowd personally, kind of giving back. But
yeah, that's good, man. I like that. I'm glad that you found that and you're doing that a little bit. And John, honestly, I mean, I'm excited to see how you do outdoors. I've missed you at the races. I missed seeing your name come across the lap times and all that. So I'm hoping that you meet your expectations, and I hope it goes really well for you. It means, you're a buddy of mine, so I want to see you do well.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I don't want to talk myself up too much. I'm pretty confident in how I'm riding and stuff, but let all the results will tell you whether I'm good or not. So
you gonna take that loser Kent rider with you? Is he gonna be like dragging you down or what?
Man, I've been trying. He might just be a Texas guy. I don't know. I'm trying to get him out to some of the races. We'll see if his schedule works with it, but I'd love to have him out. He'll probably for sure come to Millville or something like that. Some of the closer ones that we can drive to. Yeah,
tell him he needs to start training because I want to see him back at the track with me at some Moto Masters and some local races.
Now, Kent, I do all the training for Kent. So, he's a residual of just whatever extra training I got done, and he's straight off the couch.
I don't think it works that way very well, John.
He's the rare exception.
Okay, I guess. All right. Well,
I'm just kidding.
Kent, I'll see you at Billadilla in like 3 or 4 weeks. Then let's be there or be square.
Tell him to pull up. I'll have the camera with me.
He's got his Honda 450 just ready to go. So.
Oh, I'm sure it spit shine and looks like like the same bike that Dino's riding when it comes off the showroom floor or out of the truck. It looks super fast, but we need Ken to show up and be ready because I'm going to stuff his ass at Billadilla if he shows up. He better be ready.
All right. I'll have to drag him to the – now, if you're going to get that serious, I'm going to drag him to the practice track and train him up a little bit.
He doesn't need much training.
Do it. Do it. Well, John, dude, it's been awesome talking to you. And, I'm not going to any nationals till after like July, I think. I think I might do Redbud and Washougal. So, hopefully it's going well for you. And again, thank you for coming on here.
Heck yeah, man. No, we'll have some fun this summer. It's good to talk to you guys.
All right, bud. Tell the wife I said hi, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Later, guys. Thank you.
Right. That is Texas privateer John Short. A good friend of ours, really one of our fast kids. It's, much like Ryder Floyd, a lot of talent, things just, as with a lot of these guys, right? They don't always go as planned. And sometimes the talent isn't enough. Just things don't.
Gotta have luck too.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, there's some luck involved and a lot of factors that go into it. So cool. Good to hear from John. All right.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, I didn't know he raced. I'm like, yeah, you wouldn't know.
I see you wouldn't know about this, but maybe you do now. But my bubbles are going. Kent Ryder's responding, so I can't wait to see what Kent has to say. But so do you guys want to do the TBolt USA top 5, or do you want to go back to was their season successful?
It's your show, man.
What are you excited about right now? TBolt USA top 5 or successful?
Actually, I want to do the successful disappointing.
Okay.
Yeah, my top 5 is pretty.
Sorry, Vince. Scotty said, "Screw you, TBolt USA."
There it is. Yep.
Quoted
directly.
My top 5 is pretty good, so we'll tease that. Keep people around for the show.
Kent said, well, first of all, he said, I heard that. Kent types like TJ. It says, I training hard. I think he meant I'm training hard. He says, I'll be there.
That's exactly
all right.
what he meant. It's not that hard to interpret it.
Dude, good, man. I want to see you back out there. Kent's a good dude. He and I and our buddy Chad Mayo made one of the trips to Millville for the National, and we did the Friday amateur race and the Sunday amateur race, and we all went up in Kent's motor, it wasn't his motorhome. I think we took the truck. We got toy hauler.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Kent's just a good dude. He's one of our Texas buddies. For those of you that don't know who the hell we're talking about, just good friends, and a lot of memories hanging out with him. And he was fast for a vet guy back when he was riding a lot. He's still pretty fast for a lap or two now. He just doesn't have much more in it. But we all know how that is. Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna do. I came up with this idea. It's not like an original idea, but I wanted to take a couple of the riders from this season. I've got 5 of them. Let's do 2 tonight. We'll save a couple for next week because really this is a round early anyway. Was their season successful or disappointing? Let's start with Julien Beaumer. I just want right off the top of your head, successful or disappointing, Scotty?
Successful.
Chase?
Off the top of my head,
Just right off the top of your head.
disappointing, but it's not.
Okay, I'm going to ask you why.
Yeah.
But here's what just the notes that I wrote down. 4 podiums for Juju. His first win of his career, and he's third in points. But then on the opposite side, in the middle, he had a little bit of a lull, right? He had a little bit of an injury, struggled, didn't stay consistent with being up there with Hayden and being a threat. So for me, I say yes, successful, because I think going in, we didn't even expect him to necessarily be
That's my
Yep.
point.
Yep.
Yeah. We didn't think he was a title contender.
Yeah.
He proved that he can be, so therefore it's successful.
We're all on the same page because
Yeah.
I kind of like when I thought about it at first because of how good he started the season. I
You
kind of
could say,
thought,
oh, wow.
yeah. But then I went back and looked at the results last year. He didn't even get a top 5.
I
Right.
think most people would say
Like-
disappointed,
but
but
yeah,
it's not. I think it's
it's-
successful.
Yeah, and I think there's some recency bias with Davies coming in and being
Yeah.
so good right off the bat, which Jet didn't even do that.
Right.
Like he's
and Juju was
rookie
better
season.
than Davies early.
Yeah, rookie season to rookie season.
And the
like,
biggest thing about
Davies is
that-
having an awesome rookie season. It doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of bias there just because we're seeing that right now, and we're like, well, Julian's
Yeah.
been there. He should be there. You
I
know?
really wasn't even considering Davies. It was just that slump in the middle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? That you look at, oh, what happened? It kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
But, and I'll tell you, I talked to him off the record a couple times about that. But before I say what I was going to say, and then I brain farted again, so we'll go back to it. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, man. He said, hey, look, I kind of wasn't myself, is what he kept saying. He sort of told me what happened, but he's got it figured out.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, successful. The first win, again, it wasn't expected, and I think next year he'll learn from it, and we'll see a different guy and probably more consistent. So yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit us up, motoxpodshow@gmail.com, and give us your thoughts on these riders and why they were either successful or disappointing to you. It doesn't have to be super factual necessarily. It's just what you think of the season. All right, I'm going to do one more tonight. I'm going to give you the guys that I have written down. You pick who we do next. Aaron Plessinger, Drew Adams, Max Volan, or Jordan Smith. Chase, you pick.
Jordan Smith.
Okay. Well, then, off the top of your head. Successful, disappointment.
Disappointment.
Scotty?
Triumph's first win successful.
Okay. So there you go,
Injury
right?
aside,
6th in points, 3 podiums, Triumph's first win. Then he had the Arlington crash with a collapsed lung, and
he somehow is already back racing.
So he's still in 6th place. Had to crash this weekend, but rode pretty well once he
did
got
awesome.
up. So I'm going to say disappointment from what he expected, but some successful moments, all things considered. Without the crash in Arlington, probably over a whole successful season.
You got the first win of a brand new manufacturer. That's success.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
definitely successful for the team individually.
For him too, though.
There
That's
was-
pretty cool.
Yes.
You can't
but
ever take
We're
that
not
from
just
him.
taking one event, though. It's the whole
No,
season.
I know.
there was definitely some successes in the season, but like where it started and where I kind of thought it was gonna go, and what he was gonna do this season and what's actually happened.
Yeah.
But he had a crash. Like
But
I'm not dogging on him or anything, but like I kind of thought he was gonna end up being better than he was. But like you said, he got hurt.
Yeah, and that's really what it came down. I think the injury was the big
For
thing,
sure,
right? I don't
for
have all
sure.
his results wrote down, but yeah.
But yeah, if you ask him and he looked back on it, getting that win and getting the first Triumph win, that's a success.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let us know what you guys think. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. Next week, we will do the other riders. I want to give just a quick shout out to Garrett Rockley, Carl Antalik, and Mickey Arna, who all have sent emails in already for some of our contests.
Sweet.
So I can't really open them and read them right now, but we will pick winners before the next show. Okay. TBolt USA top 5.
Let's go.
People have a request for a potential interview on the show.
Who's that?
They want you to get Cooksey on.
I won't be in. I won't be in for that one.
You're like, look, Cooksey and I were, I know him. We were friends or whatever. It's just, I think. No, I mean, I'm sorry,
Dude, he ends up being right on some stuff, but
Yeah,
when he is,
Look, I'm not going to say anything. I'm
Yeah,
not even.
you're
gonna,
right.
It's the
You're
point.
right.
Here's the issue. He has done things and said things that have put a little bit of a black mark on himself with the industry, and whether you guys agree with this or not, I want to be able to do my job, and to do my job, I need to be able to go to these events, and I don't want to put a black mark on what we're doing within Feld or whatever. And I don't know that they would say anything, and maybe I shouldn't even worry about that, but I think no.
You just you can't get something off the record and then tell it and then blow out your source, and like it just
look, man,
you see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're a pit bike enthusiast like TJ and love shredding around, and I want one now, actually, if you love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you've got, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser, because they have everything you could ever want for a pit bike, a huge pit bike supply site. And they have BBR handlebars, D&M shocks, and even full bikes. If you're looking for one from YCF and Pitster Pro Bikes, TBolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for those Chinese bikes that I say this every week. I bet 10% of you, probably maybe less, but anyway, you saw those little Chinese knockoffs for around Christmas time. The same guys that are sit up in the corner by the gas station selling the come and take it flags have these little pit bikes. And now you're like, oh shit, I can't fix this bike because I can't find parts. Well, Vince and his son at TBolt USA probably can find something that will work. TBoltUSA.com. The TBolt USA top 5 this week, came up with this morning. The 5 dumbest things you did as a kid. No idea where I got this idea from. Rewatching the race and the podium speeches and stuff like that, and just thinking, I did dumb things too when I was a kid. So, who wants to go first?
I want to go last.
Okay, Scotty or me?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start with. God, I hope my mom and dad aren't listening.
My dad's dead, so
it was hard to. I would say it was hard to decide like things that I did that were bad and that was stupid for me to do, or things were like what you were trying to say, like saying stuff that I shouldn't have and being.
Anything I was
I know it was hard. It was hard to think of stuff.
I 5-finger discounted some cassette tapes when I was in my early teens.
Okay, a little klepto.
Yeah. I feel really crappy about that. That's one of the things I feel. Of all these things that I'm looking at here that I wrote, that's probably the one I feel the worst about.
Yeah.
I put down speeding, but like speeding with like when I was in my 18, 19 with like a girl in the truck. I think I talked about this when we had Hayden on, and like I was doing like 100 miles an hour down Judson Road here in Longview, Texas, and just dumb, so dumb. Really could have killed me, her, or anytime I was sped. Doing dumb stuff in vehicles, just dumb. This one is for my mom. Throwing tantrums when I was younger, even when I was in my teenage years, and she didn't want me to go somewhere.
I can so see you throwing a tantrum.
Yeah, bro, you're right. I definitely did. So I suck for that. At 15, when my parents came here to Texas to visit their friends to see if they wanted to move here, they left me at home in California. Had a party. Did some dumb things. The house got trashed. Kind of messed up one of my friends.
I always knew better to try to pull it
I should have known better. I skipped school, not knowing that my parents were smart enough to let the school know, hey, if he's not there, let us know. And they did. So and then my number one, the day we left Hawaii, my dad was in the military, to come back to California, it was literally the day we left. My mom had to work, or she was in town. I don't know. I was with my buddy, and we took like one of the neighborhood kids, and tied him to his tree, and pretended to shoot a BB gun at him. And when you shoot a BB gun, even without the BB, right, it still goes because it's air. Well, he thought we were shooting BBs at him. So then we let him go. He went home, told his mom. Mom called the military police. They came, took me down to the station, literally an hour or two before we had to board on a plane to come to California. And they were like, hey, you may not be able to make this flight.
Yeah. So
my dad's in California at the base and has to find out like this is all going on. Just, man, like the crap that I put my parents through that weekend specific was the dumbest thing I probably ever did. Again, I don't really think it was that big of a deal because it wasn't actually loaded, but regardless, the result proves that it was a really dumb thing. So that's my list, Scotty. MotoXpod@gmail.com if you'd like to give us your list. We would love to read these.
All right, so one kind of like that we did. What that I did was we got caught shooting paintballs at cars as they were driving by on the
that
road.
just reminded me of another one. Okay, you finish your list, and I got another one.
When we were like in high school, we built a zip line.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
seen
actually
this
pretty
video.
legit.
From where to where with what?
Like probably about 150 feet long, down probably 4 or 5 stories.
It was
like
there.
it was legit. We used like it was on the my buddy had like a cliff in his backyard.
Yeah.
And we used that. We used like a fence tightener to tighten it, and I was the first one to go down it, and it worked great for me. It went great for the second guy to go down it. It did not go great for the third guy.
I think I've heard this story before.
Yeah, it was one of my buddies. They're still friends with him to this day, and the video is still on YouTube.
It's fucking amazing.
Oh,
So
really?
it's on like a crappy 07 flip phone.
Yeah,
But
it's
That's awesome.
It's great. So that was pretty dumb. When I was little, we used to hop. Like I lived in I didn't live out in the country. I lived like in a city where everybody had fences and stuff. And we used to hop fences. Like that was like the thing to do, was to hop fences. And I couldn't get over one of them, and I got caught one time because I got like stuck basically.
Can I interrupt? Do you mind if I interrupt you for a
Yeah,
second?
sure. Yeah,
Both
let's do
of
it.
these stories, you no problem with the zip line. You get stuck on the. No, I was going to make fun of you. Never mind.
What? Go
I
ahead.
was going to ask if it was because you're short.
I mean, I just
Well, the zip line was because he's skinny and
yeah,
Rick's
I was like
size.
I was the smallest one, so yeah, you're
And you
there
couldn't
for
get
it
over
the
the
first.
fence because you were little, or was it?
I just couldn't make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It made me laugh, but I'm sorry. I shouldn't even have brought it up.
No, yeah.
Once
I mean,
again,
it happened. I had made it before.
I'm
I'd
the
made the
a-hole.
same. I'd made
Yeah.
the same fence before. Whatever it was,
Yeah,
I just
just got-
couldn't get there that day.
Okay,
Too
I'm sorry.
dry.
I'm not going to.
No, I was like 8.
Oh,
And then that slash like ding dong ditching, that kind of stuff.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, okay.
But I got you.
One time I remember this is just I was thinking of like really just dumb things I did. We were leaving Blockbuster back when that was a thing. I was looking at whatever game or movie I had just got, and I got into the wrong car. Yeah, and then I was like getting in and just heard this lady go, "What the hell?" And
Oh shit! There was somebody in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah, I just got into this lady's car, and then I look up, and my dad and my sister are just staring at me, just laughing.
How
at
old
us.
were you?
Like 11.
That's not too bad then.
Yeah, like
okay.
10 or 11.
That's funny though.
And then when I was in first grade, I basically ratted on myself. We were at recess, wanted to get the book, or I had just got or whatever from library out of my backpack. Teacher said no. Said I had to go to the bathroom. Went and got the book. Well, instead of going to the bathroom, came back out, read the book, got bored reading the book. This is all within like a 15-minute recess period too. Took it back to the teacher, asked the teacher to hold the book, even though I wasn't supposed to go get it in the first place. So I basically just like turned myself.
Yeah.
Just really dumb. I'm sure there's thousands of other things that I did that are really stupid, but those are just some of the things that
Those are the 5.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, I do want to do
Go
the
ahead.
one that I remembered. So, jeez, also in Hawaii, we lived down the road from like a double decker highway, Nimitz Highway. So it was right. You got the road underneath, and there's like a bridge that's parallel that's right over the top of it. And we got off the bus. Okay, two stories now. Same bus, not the same day. Got off the bus one day and threw a stink bomb on the bus as we got off. So we watched the bus take off and like immediately pull over. But same bus stop, different day. Probably the same buddy got off the bus, was going to walk home, and we started taking rocks and throwing them up to the double-decker highway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it hit any cars, but could have. Very, very dumb.
Yeah.
So those just two.
We
just
definitely tagged some cars with a paintball.
yeah. Speaking of
the
that,
paintball story, made
We were
me
like
think of
hiding the
that.
bushes, and then you
Yeah.
shoot them, and then you say it's skirt, and then like and then just look.
I've got an honorable mention now that you say that.
Yeah,
We
go
used to take artillery shells,
Okay.
like shoot out of a tube, fireworks,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
we'd throw them off a bridge when
I
a
thought you
car
meant
was
real,
coming.
Oh,
like
yeah.
military.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
no.
we used to do bottle rocket wars.
Yeah, well, we
Yeah.
would throw them off the bridge when cars were coming under, so it would explode in the highways. That's an honorable mention.
Oh, another honorable mention. Throwing.
Dumb.
I used to when high school first started driving, used to like take full water bottles and throw them at mailboxes
Oh yeah,
because it would like just that was pretty dumb.
That's like a felony.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
really dumb.
There's
to
some,
do.
there's stuff that didn't make my list because
Sure.
of statute of limitations.
Okay, give us your list, Chase.
I drank me and a buddy drank a 6-pack of beer and then went and played a baseball game, like for the school, 10th grade.
Yeah.
The standardized test, the tax test, it was a huge deal if you had,
Yep.
it was a huge deal if you had your phone. I was pretty good in school. I might seem stupid, but school was super easy. So like I got done early, and I wanted to go fishing that day, so I like kept my phone so I could text my grandma to come get me. Well, they saw me doing that, and then they were like, "You're gonna have to retake it." Blah blah blah. I was like, give me another test. I don't care.
Yeah, that sucks.
Nothing ever really happened though. Me and BJ were at Swan, and I said, "Hey, we're drinking," and I said, "Hey, I bet you $10 I can backflip off that picnic table." He didn't bet me. He didn't agree to the bet. I just did it. I flipped, landed it, but I broke my ankle when I landed.
Awesome.
Pretty stupid.
We were kids, and I buried like a bottle of gas and lit it on fire. So it was shooting, and you'd spray it with a water hose, and it'd shoot flames out. When my dad pulled up, and he'd playing with gas, he's gonna beat my ass for that. So I ran over and tried to stomp it out. Well, when I did, it just shot 25 foot of flames into there and caught my grandpa's lawnmower on fire. It was right, yeah. And then the number one is breaking my femur because I jumped a pond with.
If you don't put the pond jump on there, then
it was a toolbox out of the back of a truck.
Yeah,
and then a loading ramp and broke my femur. That's always
I will never
one.
forget that image.
MotoXpod show at gmail.com.
Yeah, we were pretty stupid.
Yep.
I've straightened
I
up
want
a lot.
to see. Yeah, people send something in. I want to hear y'all's. I know there's some good ones.
We could do a really good segment on those if you'll send us. We could do another shock giveaway for that if you want to pick the best story. We can do a shock rebuild.
Okay, there you go.
A Race Tech shock rebuild. So I have another card, so we can do one of those. So we got a lot of giveaways for next week. So hit us up, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Guys, please don't. Sometimes you guys will DM me like on Instagram. It's too many different places for me to pull results. Please just do it on the email. It makes it so much easier on me. I'll probably bail. Like if you do send me a DM, I'll probably still use it, but it's a lot. It's a pain in the butt, man. Do me right.
So yeah, they're like, all right, got it. Never, not going to change.
Yeah, come on, man. Do me right. All right, Barnett clutches, pick one. Barnett Dirt Digger clutch kits have 75 years of experience behind every kit. Engineered for maximum performance, Dirt Digger clutch kits feature friction materials formulated exclusively for Barnett. Get your Barnett clutches.com. Wow. Get yours at barnettclutches.com and get 10% off with that code VitalMX. It's all caps. Okay, I haven't given you a heads up on this one. So pick one, winning the lottery or finding your soulmate. So, since I didn't give you guys one, Amber, if you're listening, turn it off. No, I'm going to go win the lottery because then I feel like afterwards you probably could still find your.
Yeah, I'm about to say if you win the lottery, is like
if it has to be either one, you only get one or the other. I'll go soulmate because I'm
still going lottery. I can find somebody that can love me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
then I don't care if it's real or not at this point.
It's either or. You win the lottery and you never find love.
Oh, okay.
So I'm changing a little bit.
Say if you have the lottery, you probably find lots of soulmates.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like I'll figure something out.
You find your soulmate. Maybe you have a good career and you do fine. Who knows? But you damn sure don't win the lottery. So I'm gonna go soulmate because I am a romantic.
Are we talking like 500,000? Are we talking about like?
Let's say the big lottery, whatever that is,
lottery.
millions.
I'll take that one.
You're gonna take the lottery.
I'll find somebody to love me.
Probably should take the soulmate one.
Probably should. She doesn't listen, so.
Oh, but I should put my luck to be the first time.
You know me, I'll send the clip. I'll find her. Hey, by the way. And you're going lottery too, Trey.
Dude, I'll find somebody to love me. I don't care if it's real anymore.
That doesn't surprise me coming from you. Okay, so I think it's time for the FXR picks for Salt Lake City. And all right, this is another contest. Haven't checked with Brad on this, but they're usually pretty cool about it. Let's do a casual giveaway, a FXR hat and t-shirt. If you can get, all right, for this week, this is a big one. We're going to do the 450 podium. We're going to do the 250 showdown podium, and we're going to pick our 250 East champion.
Okay.
For the contest, I want you guys to answer all those, but you have to get the winner of each one for the contest. So
just the winner.
So for example, if your 450 podium is Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb, Aaron Plessinger. If you get Chase Sexton right, that works for the contest, right? Does that make sense?
Okay.
So I want to know your picks for all these, but the contest is your winners for each of that. That makes more sense to say it that way. So for the contest, I want your winners for 450 Podium, or 450 class, 250 Showdown, and 250 East Champion. But I'd like to get your podium just to have it. Does that make sense? Is that too confusing?
No, you're good.
Okay.
They'll figure it out.
So that's the contest, motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Also, if you guys have entered the Guts Racing or the Race Tech ones, you can also enter these other ones. Just do them separately for me. All right. My picks. Here we go. 450 Podium, Justin Cooper. I've been stamping that now for over a month.
That'd be funny if you did something else.
Yeah, right? Well, I'm not. Yeah. So Justin Cooper, Chase Sexton, Cooper Webb. That is my 450 Podium. 250 Showdown Podium is Davies, Hamaker, RJ. Based off that podium, clearly my East champion is Hamaker. So those are my picks. Scotty, 450 Podium for Salt Lake City.
I'm going to go Sexton, Cooper, Justin Cooper, Cooper Webb.
250 Showdown Podium.
I'm going to go Davies, RJ, Deegs. So even if...
Oh, okay. So I'm going to give you a second here. There's no confirmation. I made a joke on the Pulp Show while I was in the chat last night that I had a secret from Deegs. I don't really have a secret, but I did text him and say, 450 Supercross this weekend. I want to. Trying.
Okay.
So
well,
I don't know that it's going to happen. Probably won't happen, but if that may
If
play
Deegan says he's trying to, then he's going to probably do it.
so listen.
I'll take that out.
Okay, so Deegs is out on your...
Then this will make it easier for my championship pick anyways. I'll go Davies, RJ, Hamaker, which would mean Hamaker would win the title.
No. I
think RJ would.
What's the... Yeah, I think the
He's
points
2
different.
points, so it'd be tied and then to go by wins, which Hamaker has more.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because that's a 2
He's
point difference between
2 points
second
now,
third.
Yeah, and he's 2 points down from...
Yep. Okay, so Hamaker's your champion.
Because, right, he is 2 down from him.
Yeah, I don't
He's
have him in
3
front of me,
down
but I believe
total
you're
and
right.
2
Yeah,
down
I
from...
think you're right.
Because Hamaker's only 1 behind, right?
I don't have it in front of me right now. I'd have to pull it up, which...
I
don't have it.
I got it right.
Chase, give me your 450 Podium.
Jacob, Webb, Sexton. I think Jacob's going to get it done.
Showdown Podium.
Davies, Hamaker, Deegan. It's if Deegan races, I guess. And then
I think he probably will.
That would be Hamaker as the
Yep.
champion.
So you don't even have RJ on your podium. If Deegs doesn't win, who's your replacement? All right, if Deegs doesn't
RJ.
race. Okay.
Which that might put RJ as my
No, you have
Yeah.
Hamaker second, so Hamaker would win.
Oh yeah, you're right.
RJ's 2 down of Hamaker, 3 off of Vial. So if he got...
Yeah, we don't have Vial in the... none of us have Vial on our podium.
Well, I mean,
it's going to be a dry track. I just don't...
It took how long to get a win? And
Vial wins the championship if RJ and Hamaker do something, I think,
Okay.
personally.
All right, so there's a lot of contests in the show. MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. Also, we'd love to get your input on the segments, the show, et cetera, et cetera. I want to thank...
Hold on a
excuse me.
second.
Yep, go ahead.
We have to do our fantasy.
Oh, yeah, we skipped that. Pro X Fantasy. Yeah, thank you. Yep.
Yep.
Pro X Vital MX Fantasy Recap. We'll do this quickly before we close the show out. I had 120 points for Denver in the MotoXpod League, 223rd place. My picks were Dean Wilson, Mitchell Oldenburg, Colt Nichols, Christian Craig, Benny Bloss, Kyle Chisholm, Austin Politelli. I picked Austin because I had like 15,000 left over, and that he was there. He was good for it. Cody Schock, Enzo Lopes, Drew Adams, Cole Thompson, and Gavin Towers. The guy that won the MotoXpod League was Kraus 778 with 135 points. His picks were Sexton, Stewart, Oldenburg, Craig, Moranz, Beaumare, Marchbanks, Adams, and Wageman. What'd you get, Scotty?
I got 97 points. That's not that great. I finally did the strategy where I tried to get more, and
it didn't work for you.
Didn't work out.
Yeah. And yeah, you were traveling and you
I
didn't
was
get
doing
team
that.
in, so no
I
big
was
deal.
busy.
Oh, you know what? KTM Juniors.
Oh, yeah,
we were supposed to talk about that. So Chase, you were in Denver to film for the KTM Juniors for
JC on Saunders.
Two Pistols.
Yep, Two
The
Pistols is his dad.
I don't know who that is, man. Sorry.
Yeah, he's got a song with T-Pain. He's got Like
I do know who that is.
You've heard the song.
Yeah.
You've heard him before. I promise you.
You say that?
I promise you.
Okay.
It was on the radio.
All right.
Take his
constantly.
word
I
for it.
promise you heard that.
I don't know,
song.
man. We were at
It was like
Taylor's baby reveal the other day, and she's playing all this rap that everybody was like rapping along with. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
I'll play it after the show. You've
anyway.
probably heard it, but
That doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. Dude, they put on an awesome event. Jen Aiello runs it. You come in, we get to go meet Juju and all them while they were
Yeah, Chase and AP.
Yeah, Chase, AP, they were supposed to be doing their autograph signings. They pulled them away. They signed stuff for the kids. The kids get to do an autograph signing. They get gear. They get to keep the gear. They get to keep a fly helmet. They get like 100% contracts them technically for the rest of the year. Like if they're a 100% athlete.
Yeah.
Who else does that? There's another company that does that too. I can't remember off the top of my head. But then like Fly, you get to go eat at Fly. Team Faith feeds everybody. Like it's a super awesome program. If your kid is racing, is that age and can do it, like apply for it because it's an awesome thing.
Yeah. So, how'd the kid do?
He practice was a little rough because Supercross.
What was his name again?
Jason Saunders.
Okay.
But after practice, he kind of figured the track out. He pulled the whole shot. Was doing great.
Yep.
Kid went to pass him. He kind of bumped him going to the whoops. Crowd was going crazy. It was a super cool deal. And then those e-bikes, they have like a lanyard, kind of like a jet ski kill switch. So if you fall, it pulls it off. Then you got to put that back on. It takes a second.
Gotcha.
Somebody ran into him in the back of ran into his back tire coming into the finish line turn. So he fell down and took a minute to get back going. But I think he came back to like 9th or so.
Yeah.
It was a cool event though. He got a whole shot award. Like it was super cool.
Adam Entenap, 7 Deuce Deuce, who has a little bit of a rap career, whatever, was in the press box with us. And I was like, hey, my buddy's filming for Two Pistols Kid. You know who that is? He's, yeah, that's cool. So he thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 Deuce is down.
Yeah. Anything else cool on the weekend for you? Anything stand out? Like, you haven't been to a Supercross race kind of behind the scenes in a while. So
Yeah, not behind the scenes, like I didn't get to do track walk, which would have been cool, but like getting to go into the trucks, I haven't done that side of it. I mean, I guess I have it at the outdoors or whatever, but Supercross is a little different. It's probably the coolest part of the day was well, I don't know, man. It was cool all around.
That was
Like I
really
did.
cool.
Yeah, it was just
Blank.
cool all around, man.
Okay. When I guess you're going to edit this footage, where will people be able to see it?
It'll be on Two Pistols YouTube. It's the series we're doing. It's called Moto Vibes, VYBES.
And it's the number 2 Pistols.
Yes.
Sweet. Scott, anything else?
I'm good.
Why'd you laugh?
I don't know.
Are you gonna ride this weekend?
I hope so.
Oh, with the weather, probably not.
Is it supposed to rain all weekend too?
Yeah, all week.
Jeez.
I think there's
Gee-
like 2 days this week it's not raining.
You let me ride one of your bikes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
If we ride somewhere, yeah.
Okay, cool.
If something's open and I can go, yeah. We'll
Put the
figure it out.
skis on it.
Yeah, put the skis on it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's obviously, you're gonna have to wash it right this time though.
I washed it fine.
You got to
last
pull the
time.
plastics out.
I mean, it was okay. It really.
I mean, I
know
was kind of doing it in the dark.
Well, that's because you kept talking.
What?
Don't you remember I was trying to get the hell out of there? I was like, we gotta go get food. We gotta go. And you were talking. You were wanting to say bye to all your friends because
Yeah,
you
I
wanted
was-
to be nice.
Yeah, I wanted to be nice and then
No, you got to hit him with
hang
that
out
Irish
with
goodbye.
everybody. We were left 45 minutes before anybody else did.
Because we needed to get bikes washed, and I was hungry.
You actually know that's bullshit because you were like, dude, don't even worry about it. And I was like, no, I'll wash it.
Yeah, you did, but it was dark. I'm
Yeah,
I'm messing
you're-
with you to some degree, but if we go ride when it's been muddy, you got to do a good job.
Okay, yes, sir.
But we probably won't go ride if it's been muddy because I don't want to deal with it.
I'm just not
We'll
going
figure
to
it out.
ride if it's muddy.
Yeah. All right, guys. I want to thank Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA for being our presenting sponsors. Thank Checkers for letting us do some contests. I want to thank X Brand Goggles, Evans Coolant, Guts Racing, and Andy Gregg for another great contest. I mean, somebody's going to get a free seat cover. That's awesome. TBolt USA, Barnett Clutches, ETS Racing Fuels, FXR, Pro X. I want to thank Austin Forkner, Kevin Moranz, and John Short for being on the show. You two guys for being here. Yeah, we'll do a show next week.
That's what she said.
Whoop, didn't mean to hit that. Yep. That works. Hey,
that was actually funny.
yeah, that works good. What else do we have here? Let's see.
We need to, dude. Honestly, I wish we need to do some drops.
Let's see
We
what
really
this one
do. We need to.
hate school.
I'm the only one in my family who doesn't like books.
That's
I
TJ.
want to ride motocross. They will call me Mr. Moto Cross. Just let me go home.
That is from F is for Family, the Bill Burr cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here.
Why are you the way that you are?
Yeah, we know that one.
Honestly, every time I
Should I
try to
just
do
kill
something
him?
fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
I have this one.
That's Dark Side, everybody.
The man. The man. Right?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, he's the man.
the man. He's the man.
Is that Jack and Coke?
Yeah,
Jake and Coke?
and they weren't talking about me. I just spliced it together.
Oh,
with something
yeah.
that Steve said. Yeah. I've got the Bradshaw bike one. I'm not playing that again.
Oh yeah, no, we hear that one.
All right, that's it, guys. So
All right.
thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. Hit us up in the email. We're out.